Following a tech-led rally on Monday, we're seeing futures back in negative territory once again this morning, but trying to get back to the upside. Nice day on Monday, 2+% for the NASDAQ led the way. We had both the Dow and S&P in positive territory at the end of the session as well. Markets continuing to monitor the bond markets once again this morning. Yields spiking for the second day in a row. The inversion between the 2 and 10-year continues to steepen. So we'll talk a little bit about the overall market here coming up. Monday, as I mentioned, big move for tech shares back to the upside after quite a rough month last month. We're looking at Twitter shares back to the upside here. Apparently Twitter in agreement with Musk not to own more than 14.9% of the company. But looks like he's going to get a board seat. So Elon Musk might be joining Twitter's board. So yeah, Twitter making moves here in the pre-market. NIO also back in positive territory this morning, talking about possibly licensing their battery swapping business. So good move for NIO. We'll have a look at both of those coming up. It's Tuesday, April 5th, 2022. tradertv.live starts now. There's a look at the board as we sit here right now, but we are starting to creep back to the upside ever so slightly for U.S. markets anyways. About 0.25% right across the board there for all three. TSX futures here in Toronto red as well. Brazil open trading down slightly 0.4. Bitcoin and Ethereum back to the upside this morning. Nice move. In fact, MSTR out with their latest purchases of Bitcoin. 0.6 for crude oil. Going to keep an eye on crude oil there back to the upside. It's actually more than that now. It's about 1% to the upside after a move there for crude once again. Pretty good morning setting up here. Lots of action again today, guys. Wow, what a breaking news event there just as we come on. Elon going to get, it looks like anyways, a board seat, but he's only going to be allowed to own 14.9% of Twitter.
Yeah,
allowed.
Allowed.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, it's when with that kind of an agreement, you know, who knows? We're just sort of getting all of this right now and digesting it. The first thing that popped into my mind, and good morning, everybody. The first thing that popped into the mind there is, okay, well, you're going to set those because you don't want the threat of him taking it private in the short term, I guess, and realistically, with his tweet yesterday,
he's taking this private.
With his tweet about the edits yesterday, you already essentially had the CEO answering to him. That's not really the word I want to use, but kind of answering to him already. So it hasn't really taken long. This is sort of moving pretty quickly here. If they're going to put that limit in there, it's because certainly they're going to want some control over the company over the next little while. But he's already calling some shots, as you already saw with that edit tweet, because that was like 70-something%. Looks like the edit button probably coming, if based on that result, I suppose.
Yeah, he said 74. Yeah, that was over the weekend, right? So and then yesterday he tweeted that out about the 9.2%. I don't know how, like 14%, like whatever. I feel like he's going to make a bid for this thing and take this thing public or private. So this is just step one. I was really stupid not to buy options yesterday in this. You can still get them today. I think this thing goes to all-time highs at some point. I really don't. I don't understand that 14.9. Like I said, it's just coming out now. So whatever that means, who knows? But this name, I believe, will go private at some point. We're already long. I mean, if not, some sort of an activist, like he's on the board, but whatever. We'll still figure out. I mean, there's more stuff coming out. Twitter CEO says he had conversations with Musk in recent weeks that he would bring great value to the board. I mean, this is already a wrap. So we're long here, 51. We just punched long as soon as we got in. We didn't really care the price, to be honest with you. As soon as we saw where we were yesterday, above yesterday's prices that we wanted to hit, which was right here, 51.30. That was yesterday's high. So that's exactly where we got in. I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer to get into this long. I said even in the tweet before, even before any of this news came out, the sticky note had this, man, and we just said, possible target of $55 today. Didn't know anything about this Elon Musk board stuff, but there it goes right to the upside. We actually missed it because it just happened so fast. I was like, what? I was actually tweeting out everything and responding to some of you guys. There it is. It's a big move up, 51.20 from yesterday. I don't think you go back down here. If you do, that doesn't make any sense to me. But let's see if we take out this 53. My next offer is at 53.80, which is the high of the day. So obviously, I think we're going there. We have a decent position right now. I mean, when it's trading 6 million shares in the pre-market, you don't have to worry about liquidity. There's another one, that SBFM or something, and ATER. When stocks trade like this, you don't need to worry too much about liquidity in the pre-market. We're $1 higher than this. I think this goes the rest of the day. It's Twitter. We're really super happy with it. It's already a little bit of a hot dog kind of day here. So hopefully you guys are along with us. If you're short Twitter, I think you're going to be in a little bit of pain for the next couple weeks until they figure this thing out. But hey, it's a monster move. It was 27% yesterday, add 5% today. That's a third upside right there in 2 days off of one individual. So you kind of know the power that Elon Musk has. The guy's just moving chips around like it's monopoly money here. And honestly, that is what it is for him. So you've seen Dogecoin, you've seen Bitcoin, now you're seeing Twitter. Like, what's next for this guy, right? I mean, this guy's an absolute monster, and now he's going to be part of the board. Like, how many things does he have? He has Boring Company, he has Tesla.
It's too much.
We can go on and on and on. The solar, everything. So we're going to get ready to rock and roll. And hey, I'm with you, Elon. Let's take this thing to the moon.
All right, a few more details here, guys. So it's 14.9%. That's going to be the cap, and it's for as long. If we could show that there quickly, there we go. So it's for as long as Elon is serving on the board, and for 90 days after, he will only be able to own 14.9%. And if you missed it, or if you're just joining us, guys, yeah, Elon is going to get a board seat of Twitter. So a few more things just coming out now. The Twitter CEO actually tweeting up a storm, it would appear as well, talking about this. So more to come for Twitter. Before we go any further, though, let's bring in Miss V. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome back, team. Enjoy your trading and the show. Please don't forget to like this video, and let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, lots to discuss, obviously. Lots just coming across still, guys. We'll keep an eye on this. But, I mean, as far as, what to do today, maybe. I mean, as you said there, Sean, maybe the move happened already. But, I mean, who knows where this thing ends up. I'll keep my eye out here for anything new.
Yeah, like when you just said there, one of the things that made sense to me is, okay, so as long as he's on the board, so you can't get rid of him or he's going to take over the company. That's the way that seems to come out to me. But, obviously we're going to be watching Twitter today. And someone was like, oh, too much, typical Neil. I'm not talking about the stock movement. I'm talking about for Elon. Like, I'm a huge Elon fan, but I just think there's so much more potential explosive growth with Starlink and some of his other ventures than I think potential for Twitter. That's just my opinion on it. I'm not a huge fan gigantically of the business in terms of its future growth potentials compared to the other things that he's doing. That's all. But the other thing, it's also moving, and watch out for this SBFM. Now, you mentioned about volume and liquidity, and I get it. SBFM is doing 18 million pre-market volume, but it is a super low float stock. Like, just because the volume is through the roof and there's liquidity here, this is a candidate to halt. Twitter is unlikely to halt. It doesn't have that kind of it just doesn't have that kind of a profile. It's possible, but it's very unlikely. Whereas this FBFM, tons of liquidity in it, but if you break a key level, moving 60 cents or 50 cents too fast, which is all it will take when it's a $5 or $6 stock, that's not asking too much. So I think with this one, you're not necessarily treading as aggressively as you would on Twitter, because liquidity can become a concern, even though it isn't right now. But this stock going absolutely nuts on positive news of its own.
Yeah, I mean, I started the show talking, obviously, about Twitter here. And, I mean, Elon is a man of the people, and that's the point of what he's trying to make here. And he's saying that it's not a democratic. He's calling it, what did he say? The, not the circle, but the voice of the town hall. That's what it was, of the people. I don't think that is what Twitter is. Facebook already has like 7 times, I think, monthly active users. If Elon Musk can sort of get through some of the censorship, and he wants to make I think he was talking about making some of the algos more specific to you so that you are in charge of what you see rather than Twitter just simply saying, oh, Sean likes sports, therefore the top 10 tweets for him will be sports related. Well, if you can start to sort of figure that one out, and that's what Elon Musk wants to come into, take away some of the censorship, you're never going to be able to really do that because there are certain rules and whatnot that's involved. But hey, we saw DWAC go down yesterday because, whoopsies, let me put this back up so we can watch this happen here. We just made a nice move to 53 there. Let's see what DWAC is doing today, probably even lower on this news. And again, this is obviously nothing political here. It's just, this is supposed to be the truth, and this is maybe what, and this is just a theory here, maybe this is what Elon's trying to turn Twitter into, sort of an uncensored social media, which is what, you know, the truth is trying to become, right? So we'll have to find out what that means for this company, but you've seen it's been a big move down here today, and you're going to see another 4% down for DWAC. It might be a great value buy now because of where we are on DWAC, but again, no product, no love from me. But here goes Twitter again, man. I told you where my offer is. It's up here at the day's high. I think shorting this would be absolutely ridiculous. BMH there on the chat said, well, I said all these nice things about Twitter, but yet yesterday, and if you look at yesterday, we shorted, and he's completely right. Yeah. We shorted up here yesterday and rode this all the way down at the close. So shout out to everybody who was there yesterday with us shorting that. But we were also long in the pre-market yesterday and rode it to the upside. So I trade price action. And right now, I'm not getting in the way of this short. So we'll be shorting this thing maybe if we get to $55. But remember, Neil and I have to be flat. So maybe this is, I know you remember there, BHM or BMH. Again, when you have three letters, I get confused. But Neil and I are flat at the end of every day, right? And so our opinion doesn't necessarily carry forward the next day. Although I tend to like I've switched up. I think AMD could be a long. Microsoft, I'm always going long on that name. So I think that it is important to have some kind of bias. And today I'm long only on Twitter until we get to much higher levels than this.
Just quickly, before we go back to Brendan, I'm not short NEO. NEO was on the it's just because this happened yesterday. If we trade a little bit too early sometimes before they put this up, then it takes the first thing we do, which was actually selling out of a long position here at 24.20. I took a long down at 24.11 and got some out at 20s, and because they hadn't put the board up. And it's just one of those, we'll refresh it, but NEO, we're going to get to it, and it's on the radar, but you can see multi-day double top breaking out above on the daily, consolidating, breaking on the daily through 23.90. That's the level. So long in front of that 23.90 is to play as it's breaking out on the daily with a catalyst. So, and we were talking about it in the chat, so anyone that was here early knows about it, but you know, it is a long position. There might be some shorts today. Like if Twitter gets to 55 even and there's a monster level up there, that was a level from yesterday that we're looking at. We've cleared through some of those, but there's always a price as a day trader where you're willing to go in either direction. But NEO for sure, it's a long above this breakout on the daily.
All right, Elon commenting now, guys, saying he's looking forward to working with Twitter CEO and the board to make significant improvements to Twitter in the coming months. I saw 24 months, so 2024. So it's going to be, it looks like a 2-year term at least. And remember, he won't be able to own more than 15% 9 months after that 2-year term. So he'll be appointed at the upcoming shareholder meeting, and then they'll go 2 years from that. So 2022 to 2024, it would appear. More EV-related news this morning. GM and Honda announcing they're going to team up for quote-unquote affordable EVs to come to market by 2027 here. So GM going to work with Honda on that.
Yeah, there's the NEO news that we'll get to as well. You're going to get more collaborations as in NEO's case, I think they have to license. I think it makes a lot of sense for their battery technology. The weird thing is there wasn't a heck of a lot of volume on the move up. You're going to see that there was a breakout when General Motors had that news come out, but there was 20,000 shares worth of volume and then immediately starts fading back in, and it's still not doing a tremendous amount of volume. I like the support down at 43. You can see it hold up pretty nicely, but it's also been a relatively weak week for General Motors. So you have room to run bouncing off the support level. I'm just seeing it's really seeming like there's no interest in here. It might be worth something on a consolidation long off 43, and if that level goes, I don't like it at all. But I would have expected to see just a little bit more interest here. Obviously, all the pre-market volume is in two places right now. Like it's either in SBFM or it's in Twitter, so might not be enough to spread around. At 9:30, things can change for GM. But outside of that, I like what they're doing. It's just the stock has yet to get off the shine. It's coming off a really, really poor week. Hopefully that 43 level can come into play as a solid long. I mean, I own shares of it, so I'd like to see it bounce off that level. Just don't see the volume here today yet.
Yeah, we got some out here in the 60s. This has been such a disappointing stock, honestly. I mean, Ford's been going to the downside, so has GM. You continue to make those moves. I mean, obviously they had some nice runs. So if you were in this name, I've been in this name for a very, very long time, so it's not like this was a recent buy. By the way, Twitter is right now trying to go back up to those day highs, and we're waiting for that 53.80 mark on that one. So let's hopefully that can come through. Maybe we should just take another piece out right now. But if you were long early on this name, good job, man, in the 20s. But up here in the 50s, it's been a real struggle. We're now well below the the 200 period moving average of $54. If you go here back over to Ford, it's similar, but we've been touting this one since $6 or $7, so this is still fine in our account anyways. This is a 1-minute chart. But you can see Ford even from that high of 25, that got really ramped up, man. That was during Rivian, and when Rivian came out and got a huge valuation. We know Ford's piece in Rivian as well is 10%, so that was a big level there. Now Rivian battles back, hopefully Ford can as well. But I really like Ford more than everything else. I think that they have that F-150 is just going to be a monster, and it already is electrified. Obviously GM has the Cadillac. I like the Lyriq. I think that's going to be a big seller for them as well. But just down here, Ford above the 200 period or close enough to it. The 50 period's coming. I don't care about these crosses or anything like that. Those to me don't really predict anything. But $18 to the upside. Let's see if we can get there. It still needs to break above. The real breakout on Ford is like $18.50. So if you can get above that, then giddy up on these numbers. And then yesterday it was a pretty good day for Ford. It battled back from some of those bottoms that they made early. Look at this dip early on in the morning down to $16.50, rocketed up to $16.75, back down and back up. So if you're going to trade this long, I think you got to wait for $16.50 to come through. But obviously, as you see, Twitter going crazy right now. My views and everything is just going to be on Twitter. We just stopped at 1540. Let's bring our 1530 or 1580 down a bit. Take it out here at 1530, hopefully 5330, and then we'll fly from there. So we'll cancel our 80 and hopefully get like that 55 that we're wanting to get. But right now, let's just take a smooth $2 on this thing and worry about what happens after once this market opens and it rips to 55.
Just double checking there on all-time highs. Obviously not going to be today, but 80.75 it looks like for Twitter was all-time highs. We mentioned yesterday some strength coming back into chip makers, specifically AMD had a decent day, NVIDIA as well. But this note out this morning from Piper Sandler talking about some bearishness by investors coming back into this group as a whole. But AMD, obviously with an acquisition yesterday that seemed to go over quite well. But what do we do with these chip makers today?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I don't know when that Bernstein or Bears or whatever that comes out there.
Those, man.
Yeah, those are pretty classic. But we've been short. So if you look at the last couple days here, this is 2 days ago on the 3rd. You could see here, or the 3rd. I don't know what day that was. If it was the 3rd, there's the 4th. We were short. All these purples are short. So we've been short, cashing out on AMD on all these shorts. I mean, that's a good day. And then yesterday we did the short as well on AMD, and then we were able to get out of the way as we noticed. And this is like something that I was pretty proud of yesterday. All these shorts in here, short, down. Good trade, short again here, down, short again, down, short, got hit out, re-engaged the short, down. And then it was just like, okay, we took the 50 period, we tried some more shorts here at 109.50, didn't work. We got out at 109.50 before letting this thing rocket up to 111. I put here on the sticky note that I thought today we had changed through the momentum for AMD and that we could probably just look long. I mean, that's a new story to me. I didn't hear anything about any of these sort of weaknesses that they would thought through here. So I wrote down here, might be strong off momentum change. down here for the sticky notes. So we'll put this back in the chat. You can find it at Trader TV, Sean, along with our watch list as well. But I thought there was a momentum change right there, but now you're seeing it come back down. The NASDAQ is down today. AMD's lower than the NASDAQ. I would have hoped that we would have stayed more positive and more aggressive. There we go. We just got out of Twitter right there at that 53.25. So that's a big win for us right there. We go Mamma Mia. No offense, taco eater, but right now we're throwing down some pizzas. Although it is Taco Tuesday, so you're, good for you on the taco eater side of things. But there we go. What we're talking about, AMD, there it is. I still think that you can get down here to 108. If you do, then it's a buy for me. I'm going to change that. I was looking short only. I was going to look long only now. But to be honest with you, AMD right now, off that note, I'm still thinking negative here. So let's let AMD fall back in. Any key levels? I mean, maybe Neil has some. NVIDIA also moving around as well. But this 107, 108, that's where you got to wait for. We're not that far away. If they're going to be downgrading the chip sector, let's just let it settle and wait for a momentum change like we did yesterday.
I don't really have anything for AMD. Yesterday on AMD, it was like I went for AMD and lost, and then NVIDIA was the one that had the levels that made sense for the long trade. So I did take it off this 270 to 272 area here, and it's sort of previous top and then support all last week. It tried to break out from there, but we couldn't break 75. Like it made the break and then couldn't get through that next level at 275, and you're right back in the middle of the zone. I don't love NVIDIA in here. I think it has to break 75 upside to get going, and to the downside, we're right in the middle of that. We're at 72.5. And you break 70 even, and you've got more room to the downside. So inside of the range, I don't think I want to play it unless there's a scalp trade in there. It's got to be a 75 jailbreak for the long or a 270 absolute flush. And just a quick note on DWAC, because I know we mentioned DWAC there on the news. If you go over to, there we go. It just made a huge plunge, obviously, through the bottom. I'm going to try and short the pop, but I have a stop order for a break. Yesterday's low gets taken out at 53. I'm going to go short DWAC there. I just feel like the support is at that 50 level, so there's room to run still to the downside if we continue lower on digital world acquisition.
All right, a few analyst moves. As always, guys, nothing hugely exciting on this side of the board today. First Solar, a couple days in a row to the downside here after that deal that was announced last week in the solar space. There's Starbucks on the watch list again this morning in Valet down there, but Wedbush downgrades Starbucks after we get the news yesterday.
Oh, mine is like all over the place. But Neil's earpiece didn't charge, so he has the wrong one in today.
I got it in the left.
We both have the lefts in.
And look, I love Chevron up there in the upgrades, and I think it's about time that the other end of that coin came back in, saying you got that pullback, and now some of the oil names can start to work again. But it's more that when you have the earpiece with the boys on the board in my left ear, and then Sean's on my left ear, it's just a little bit awkward if at the same time they're going. So.
It's just what you're used to. I mean, we've been used to this for so long. Look, guys, we're already $2 in the money. It's a little too early for the fruit salad, but hey, if you're hungry, grab some fruit salad right now, be courtesy of Elon Musk and Twitter as this is ripping to the high side. I may go get some fruit salad. I mean, we're already $2.10 in the money off this play. What a great couple days it is for Twitter. That 51, I can't believe when I sat down, I was able to get that 51.20. It just broke through yesterday's high right there. This 51.40. The minute that happened, man, we were all aboard, and now it's upside there. Elon Musk is going to make a huge difference to this stock. If not, then I'd be surprised, and I think you guys would as well. So let's see where we go from here. Brendan talked about all-time highs being 80. I've trash-talked Twitter over and over and over again for their lack of monetization, for them being stuck here. They're finally now just above their IPO price of 12 years ago or something. So you really have gotten crushed on Twitter as a shareholder. And if you're able to get out, they guided up here crazy. Some of their guides were being able to monetize certain things, getting way more active users than they currently have. I think it's only 300 million daily active users or something, which is not very high. They can get this going a lot more than that. You're now just breaking out. I mean, the thing is that was a monster move, but now you've actually got like activist action in there, and that's what I believe Elon Musk is going to be in this position, no matter what all these reports are. You're going to see it up here to 66, 67, something like that, where these breakout spots are, and then we'll see if we take out the high. I mean, it's just going to get a couple upgrades now and a couple words from Elon Musk, and then we talked about this yesterday, the cult that is Tesla, that is Elon. We've seen what happened in Dogecoin. You're going to see what's going to happen now in Twitter. It's just a matter of wait till the options market opens up here. You're going to start seeing some people pile into options, and then it's like brrr, that printer is just going to start going. So I just a word of advice, man. I would. Up to you. Trade your own book. We say that all the time. I'm already out of 60% of this. Okay, the first move was 50 cents. Like, had no idea this was coming. Then all of a sudden, boom, to the upside. We get 52.90s. Then we get this 52.25s, 53.25, sorry, for that dollar. I think it's going to be a mistake to short this thing. Will I eventually short it? Yes, I will at some point. Just like yesterday, we saw this was exhausted up here. We shorted it and cashed in on the short yesterday, even though we remained bullish on the stock. We're day traders here. Don't get that twisted. I'm going to be going both ways, as they say. Brendan.
All right, just checking some of the crypto-based stocks this morning. MSTR mentioned right out of the gate, out with their latest purchase. I think it was 4,100 or something like that. Bitcoin, guys, but nice move for Bitcoin here. MSTR doing absolutely no volume, as it typically does. Coinbase about the same. Not much volume, but positive anyways. Back to the upside, though, for BTC this morning.
Yeah, it was relatively weak, and we're talking about Bitcoin specifically was relatively weak yesterday because I think, you know, across the board there was some signs of strength. And I liked on the chart where Coinbase was going, and it's another name that's doing absolutely no volume absolutely no volume this morning, but it is bouncing off its 50 period. It's trying to get to the upside after, again, like three pretty bad days to end last week, and you sort of see this little breakout from 193. I'd much rather be supporting levels when there's not a lot of volume than taking breakouts. I think that goes without saying. You never like breakouts without volume in there, and I just don't like that multi-level break. It's not going into new price area here. If we get down to support 185, fair enough. Like, that's a little something that might be tradable, and I haven't seen any of those individual sort of minor names get terribly interesting at some of these levels here. But, you know, if we come down, if there's a big down day, there are levels, I think, of support that can get pretty interesting for Coinbase. I'm just not really seeing any so far in the pre-market. And 21,000 shares. I mean, yeah, not on this day. Not on this day. There's so much more to look at that's doing volume.
So I just got into NEO there at 24.05 or 04, so we'll talk about that quickly, or we won't, but we'll get to that eventually. 40, we'll talk about Bitcoin quickly. 48,000's been that top, man. Look, we called that squeeze. I mean, you guys watching the show know that. I said as soon as we break through 40, we're going to go straight to 45. That's exactly what happened, and now you're bouncing around here, just hovering in the last couple days. And this goes all the way back to March 1st, so this is not like, or sorry, March 1st, March 25th, so this is about a week worth of data. Let's call it, 13 days or so worth of data. And it's been very, very consistent, holding upside here on Bitcoin. If you're going to look at a daily chart here, we'll take a quick look at this. There's the move through 40, the squeeze up. We haven't even come close to testing anywhere back test yet. I think you take 50 and then we get to 55 pretty easily. It's holding up real nice, man. We know Cardano, you can stake now. I'm getting 4% on that, which is like, the fact is, we sit here and we talk about like, oh, you can buy this stock for dividend. Like ETH and these things now have a yield on them if you stake, and so does Cardano. I don't know if that's going to be coming for Bitcoin. I'm sure there's some operations out there that will stake you with some of your cash there. But I think that crypto world is slightly changing and changing for the better. There's going to be a lot of talk here about the stability, I feel like, of Bitcoin as compared to some of the markets right now. So yeah, I'm a bull here. I've been buying Solana. I mean, this is my portfolio. We've talked about that a couple times. Let me get rid of Kraken here on the Bitcoin and just show you, what I'm into here. And it's not going to be, rocket science. I just like to buy the best. You hear me talk about trading Softy, trading Facebook. That might not be the best. Trading Google, things like that, and owning. And this is what I'm owning. The only one that's of question mark to me is Cardano. But like you guys know, we sold some of that at 125, and then we're buying it back in the 80s and 90s. And then Solana, man, we have some 80, 85, 86, 87 bids. So we were buying the dip on all these names. We didn't get longer on Ethereum as much as we should have, and we did get a little bit of Bitcoin breaking back through 40. So these are all my coins. I know a lot of you guys are looking at Shiba Inu. This is the 7-day right now. Solana up 30% in the last 7 days. Avalanche is another tier 2. That's something that you can look at. I don't mind Litecoin as well. And then some of these other ones down here, just having a look. There's Dogecoin. We saw what Elon did to that stock. Remember when he was on Saturday Night Live, guys? That went to 57 or 58 cents when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live. It's at 15 cents now. So to think that some of these names can't move a lot higher, I think would be incorrect. Let's see what happens with crypto. I like staying long the big boys, though, Brendo.
A couple of notes here. TVTY, some deal-making news just coming across. TVTY still halted here, but a note on that. Going to be acquired for, where'd it go? I saw it here. It's $2 billion total. There it is. $32.50 per share in cash. So $2 billion deal for TVTY, still halted. Wanted to mention this one as well. ANY, that stock ANY, Sphere 3D, which is a Bitcoin miner, up on news of a new CEO. So two more to kind of keep in mind there. We'll have a look at the overall market here and bring in Arun for a check of the futures, brought to you today by the small exchange. They're making it much easier to access futures markets, guys. No pattern day trading rules. There's less capital required to get started versus stocks. Go check them out today. thesmallexchange.com. You can use the QR code there. Let's bring in Arun, as I mentioned. Have a look at the overall market here, Arun, trying to hold some interesting levels here.
You know, yesterday's movement kind of opens the door for the upside. I think we are going to have a little bit of downside action before we get to that point where we can actually expand yesterday's move. But it does look like there's going to be some stability in the mid-50s, low 60s to mid-50s. So hopefully we get into that territory where it sets up a decent long that we can work with and see if we can get a jump back up. So the levels I'm going to work with right now are going to be 45.20 on the bottom end, and we're going to look at 46.05 up top. We had 46.05 marked off yesterday, and if we were able to find a decent short around there, somewhere close by, within 20 points or so, we could work with, we never really got there, right? Because we just kind of trended up, drifted up for the most part yesterday. So if we can get up there into the 80s and kind of set up a short, that's still on the table, the short side is, but preferably, I would rather have the market come back a little bit more. Right now we're sitting at 45.66. If we can follow another 10, 15 points and then stabilize a little bit, I think it'll set up a decent long. 45.20 would be your support level, and see if we can actually get that move back up towards the 80s. That's it. In this market, it's kind of tough to actually try to micro play anything. You're going to have to set some edges, some wide edges, work that area, and then maybe hold it all day if necessary until the trade gets going. And you saw that yesterday as we took pretty much the latter half of the entire day to go 10 points, right? So that's the kind of market we're in right now. So be prepared, temper your expectations on how fast these moves are going to be. Of course, you may have some news come out changing that, but until we get to that point, I think the market's going to take its time, make its moves, but we just got to catch the edges when we get them and then get the risk right and then let them go, and hopefully we can get a move back to the upside.
Thanks, Arun. Great stuff. Quarter of a point to the downside, as you saw there for the S&P. So we'll keep an eye on the overall market. Just watching Twitter shares still. Trying to push back to day highs. Let's go into the watch list this morning, guys. Twitter, top of the list this morning. That's the link, though. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you want the absolutely free to you every single day watch list. All you need is an email address. Here we thought, guys, that the biggest news for Twitter today was going to be the edit button. Obviously, this story develops more and more and more. So here we are, back towards, as I said, day highs for Twitter.
That's hilarious. I don't even know that story with the edit button. What is that story anyway?
So essentially, like Elon asked in a tweet.
Yeah, poll,
like, will we get the edit button? And the CEO responded to the viewers, or to the users, I guess, take this vote seriously. There will be consequences. There's something to that effect. Basically, it's like, I mean, I guess he already knew this deal, so he knew that Elon was going to be in the board and was now a decision maker.
Yeah.
So that's why it mattered. But the way it came off on Twitter was that Elon is calling some shots already.
Right. Okay. So
before this.
So it's just like sort of prelude to the main story, I guess,
Yeah,
obviously here. So, okay, so that's good. Yeah, and Brendan said Twitter might be going or is on its way. It's there now at its day high, and unfortunately, we did get some out there, and not unfortunate, but 53.25. I called that we're going right back up to the day's high, and that's exactly where we are right now. We called that down here at 52.40. So, I mean, you could get another. I should have reloaded it, but again, I guess I didn't. So it's silly of me not to do that. We're now $2.50 of the money on this Twitter trade, man. It's going higher. Like I already tweeted it out, man. Like we put the sticky note out when this thing was down here at $51, man. So I don't know what else I can really do other than trade this name, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're just letting this go to the high side now. I targeted $55 just because it was 55. You did have some consolidation here at 55.60, but now with Elon Musk, and this is without even options. Like I said, like when this market opens up, man, you might get, I'm canceling this 54.50. Like honestly, when this market opens up, this thing is going to just rip, probably through 55, and then the rest is history. So I don't know. I think it's maybe a little bit juicy to get long right now with only 25 minutes to go before the market opens. You may get a pullback. I mean, even in these rips, like we already touched 54 and came back to 52.50, which was $1.50, right? And then you get a nice rip here from 52.50 up to 53.80 again. So you could fall back in to this 52.50 area. We're already long 51.20. So 99 problems. Twitter ain't one right now, guys. We're already this is the same thing we did yesterday. We're already at this limit that we've set for ourselves, made that money already in the first little bit. And, let's just see where Twitter goes, man. I already have 55 as my target. I just canceled my 54.50 offer. So that's where where I think it's going. I might not even put a 55 offer in this thing. I don't know, like we're breaking new highs here. I'm excited for Twitter. Let's just check the imbalance locator. I mean, there's really nothing else to do here. 1.24 million shares to buy. I mean, come on. I just looked at this now. CCL maybe a little more interesting. Wow. We're taking out 53.80 right now. CCL Neo's on here as well. But there goes Twitter, man, taking out new highs. Hopefully you were here early, sitting down early, in your seat at 8:30, and you'd be long with me at 51.20. So it's $3 in the money, and we're just going to celebrate this as it takes out 55, hopefully when the market opens.
Speaking of options, there was someone buying tons of calls on Thursday of this.
Probably Elon. Probably Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Or Elon's brother. No, it's... I believe that one more than I believe. Not Elon wouldn't do it. He's way too smart.
No, he doesn't have anything.
He's way too smart.
Maybe he told his brother or whatever to do.
Well, that's the other thing. Well, anyways, hopefully they didn't do that. But whoever made that bet, right? Because Elon was talking about Twitter last week.
That makes sense.
Whoever made that bet is going to end up winning. The other side of that corner, maybe it's not the other side of the coin, but I'm kind of acting like it is. DWAC popped back up. It's done this now 4 or 5 times where it bounces off 53 and comes up to 54. This time I did grab the 53, 70, 75, 77 short. I took some out in front of low of the day, but I think it's going to be an ad. Not I think, it's going to be an ad. Why is that chart still Twitter? Anyways. If you look at yesterday's bottom at 53, there's just room into 50 even if we get through that. So I'm going to be adding to the position short 253 on DWAC. I think that's the way I want to play it until that sort of relationship is wrong. I got out of Twitter on the scalp in front of the high. The last time there was this kind of exuberance, I kind of remember usually seeing some sell action come in initially at 9:30. So I want to buy the dip at that particular time. But DWAC, I only want to go to the short side if I can, as long as that's below that 55 mark.
All right, nice note for NIO today to the upside on some talk from the company about possibly licensing its battery swapping business, and specifically in Europe over here. They might look at the European market as the first kind of target market for this technology, possibly. It's been available in China, obviously, for quite some time, but a bit of a twist, I guess, guys, as far as the business model for NIO.
Yeah, well, if everybody else is doing integrated batteries and the infrastructure gets built out for that, then what happens to battery swapping? So if you license out and sell it, then you'll have essentially, in theory, more users of the technology. When you build the swapping stations out there, you'll be servicing more, and it makes it more viable. I mean, the infrastructure is going to determine who ends up winning the battle. It isn't about whose product is better. Like, think back to, this is a horrible example because no one's going to know what I'm talking about, but Beta and VHS, it was the same sort of thing. It's like, look, man, it's adaptation's going to happen.
I had the Betamax.
We had a Betamax.
The Betamax
it was a
pretty high quality.
better machine than the VHS. Any engineer will tell you that. But it didn't make a difference, man. Once you know who industry, it was a porn industry. Once they decided to go with VHS, that's what won. So when the infrastructure gets built,
which industry?
It was a porn industry.
Oh, was it?
It's true. When they went with VHS, it was game over. Didn't matter that Beta had a better product. So I think this is a move that has to happen for NEO here, especially they're losing share to XPeng even in China as we speak. It's on the midst of a breakout on the daily chart. You'll see 2390 in here. That was the previous high, double top yesterday. You're now breaking that, so I'm long in front of this consolidation. We'll see if it can continue here. There's not a lot of volume in NEO this morning, but you can probably guess why. It's done over 1 million shares, but that just seems like nothing and that it's not doing anything, but that's because Twitter has done 10 times the amount at 2.5 times the price. This is solid volume for NEO, even though it seems like it's not doing much.
I mean, Twitter's at 54.20 right now. It's unbelievable, man. I mean, when the traders come out to support something, wow. I don't even, like I said, man, I had ideas driving in today, and I was actually talking to my wife. I was like, I'm just going to buy Twitter calls, like, off the open. But, like now? No, I don't think now. I was going to honestly buy $55 calls. I didn't even care what the price was. But Twitter was at 50 and 51. Now you're all the way to 54. Like, this is unbelievable that we have an 8% move in our blotter right now before the market even opened up. But I like NEO here. And for the same reasons that Neil was just talking about NEO, there's only two names. I have two names on the sticky note today. It's Twitter and it's NEO. And then obviously we have CCL, Microsoft, and AMD. But the two ones that I put lots of notes on were CCL here and NIO. So find the sticky note if you want to hear more about it. But this base here at 23, I think is going to be legit and could definitely hold for a bit. So there's 23 there. There's 23 tops here. NEO does have a tendency to dip and duck, dive, dodge there off the open. So obviously most of you hopefully will get that reference. As we used to have a dodgeball team that Neil and I, we won. This was about 15 years ago. We won, I think it was like division.
I still have
my
or something? I still have my shirt.
So do I. I can bring the shirt tomorrow. And we still have our dodgeball shirts. But coming back in here, 23.20 or so. Look, I wrote down 23.80 as support and where we'd like to get long. A little bit of a gift came in. We got long 24s. I'm looking at this level here, 23.90 as possible area of support. You could easily come in here to 23.50 again. And if we do, then obviously we're going to be loaded up. I have a bid right now at 23.80. And then my next one is not until 23.50 break. So if we can get that, then we'll wait. I'm going to die on the NEO sword today. Not die, but I'll have like a small puncture wound. If we break back down below 20, because right now, like I'm all stitched up from Twitter, which is now $3.25 in the money. But let's go back down to NEO here. If it breaks 23, then that'll probably be the coup de grace for me. But I don't see that happening. Just like, wow. Remember I said I'm canceling my 54.50 offer on Twitter? Well, guess where we are right now? 54.50 right here on Twitter, man. Man, this is a fun show. And if you're not liking this kind of action, then like I said, you're watching the wrong kind of show, because winners is what we do.
Hey guys, we already got a few super chats from Isa Mohammed and Mike Rehan. Thank you so much. And we ask all of you to support the community. Please, guys, help us get 1K likes as soon as possible. Now let's continue with Brandon.
Yeah, let's continue along, guys. At Jack, getting his 2 cents in here as well, guys, on this Elon news this morning. So he's really happy, obviously, that Elon's going to join the board of Twitter. That just tweeted a couple moments ago there from Jack Dorsey, obviously. Let's talk about Starbucks. Weakness yesterday on the cancellation of their share buyback program. Could get some follow through here today. It spiked to the downside in the pre-market there on a downgrade. There's actually 2 or 3 negative analyst moves on Starbucks again today. I mean, this thing does have more room to go here, potentially anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it on the higher time frame, it did bounce right into support at 85. Like, you had $90 was the shelf that got taken out. It's essentially ran down from the lower high at 88.5 right into 85. And if 85 breaks, there's even more room to the downside on a Starbucks. It's not there yet. It's sitting sort of comfortably in the middle. But the alert's going to go in for that 85 level just in case we get it. And oh my goodness, DWAC's starting to fall apart there. Yeah, so I mean, 85 is a key level for a break on. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, on Starbucks. That's what I'm going to be watching for. In the middle, I don't like it. It's kind of like Nvidia in that regard. Like Nvidia 70 to 75. It's that 85 level into 90. You're short in front of 90, and maybe a break of 85 will go. DWAC just hit $52, so we're pretty much halfway to 50 already. And Twitter comes in.
Twitter's at 55.
Realistically, if you're betting that they're going to change the game here, Twitter's going to figure things out. Like Sean said, this is essentially what Truth was trying to accomplish, and it's been beaten up already. So it had a bad week last week, and now you're getting a rollover. It's twice it's given you this opportunity. It's now bouncing back up to 53. Maybe at some point it catches a strong bid. We'll see. But for now, DWAC looking pretty weak. It's going to be SSR, I believe, because yesterday it was more than 10%. But either way, liquidity not too bad on DWAC. Crazy morning.
Crazy morning. Yeah, 350 now in the money for Twitter. So I am offering 54.90. Whatever, man. Like, honestly, my price target. And what's up to Kathy? If I could roll this all the way back, even just our chat. Kathy asked me, and if you're still watching this, Kathy, put it in the chat so people can understand. Like at 8:20, you asked me what positions was I in, and I said I'm long Twitter 51.20. You said thank you so much, and I said you asked me where the target was. I said 55. So, I mean, right here, like sometimes, look, man, the sun shines on a dog's ass a couple times a day, at least once. And today it's shining right now on me because this is just ripping to the upside right here. And we are just cashing in on this stock. Like normally I'd be out. But we had this target in mind and here it rips right now to that level. So hell yeah, man, we're pretty damn excited about this position. And I'm really super happy. There's Kathy right there. Thank you so much, Kathy, for validating that, although we don't need it. But it means a lot to us that, we're hitting these levels and some of our viewers are also able to step in and take some cash and make some cash with us. And then yesterday, man, we were cash money as well on Starbucks. This was a name that we had on our sticky note yesterday. This was my best trade yesterday. We were short off the open twice, man. We had this break right here at 88.50. Boom, that went all the way down to 86. That was $2. We reloaded it here off the pre-market when it started to rip upside here, just when the market opened up. We reloaded that at 88. Boom, to the downside. Then after when the market started to rip up, we tried another short here, made a little bit of money, then got out of the way. It did take up some new highs there in the day, back up to 88 bucks. That was a little bit of a surprise. So for me, let's just watch Starbucks today. I don't have the same conviction, but you do get an 86 break to the downside, which takes out yesterday. Obviously, no buyback. That's a big problem for all traders. Management is there. They have the union issue as well. So I don't know. I don't really like this name, but honestly, man, I don't even know what I'm going to be trading today. Yes, sir. There it is. We'll hit the beats already. Don't spark one up yet, guys. This is a big time move to that upside. There's 55, man, just as we called it. We're out 54.90. That's a $4 winner or whatever, $3.80 there. Now let's let this thing ride. We don't have much left. We only have 20%, but there it is, man. Big monster day to start off your day here with Twitter. And we're just getting started. Like, what's the imbalance right now? 1.5 and still growing. Like I said, this stock probably sees 60 bucks now today. I'm that's just throwing that out there.
It might halt if it sees that.
I thought it was ridiculous. Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous to get to 55 even before the market opened. So at this point, man, any call is a call right now, and make it if you want. But I just got out some there at that top of 55 as we called that. So congratulations, everybody along Twitter. This is going to be a good day.
Move. Wow. Yeah, let's continue along here. I want to make sure we get to Tesla as well, because Tesla also moving around here. Cruise stocks. We haven't talked about the cruise operators for quite some time, but the week of March 28th to April 3rd, the best booking week ever for Carnival Cruise, which is saying a lot considering the current environment, guys. So nice move here overall for the stock as well. That was aftermarket, obviously, but here we are up 5% for CCL.
That's stat shocked me too, but ultimately we talked about NEO for a breakout on the daily, and Carnival did the same thing, so it's just a setup and we're going to take it. I've never been on a cruise. I don't love them. I'm not excited to ever go on one, but I've heard great things. On the daily, 2060 was right here. It was a double top. and you get a consolidation breakout. It's very similar to what NIO is trying to do here, and it's got the news catalyst, and that's pretty much the reason to be in the trade. It has lots of upside room, right? When you make that kind of a break, I think you can get to like 21.5. Like that's your first level. You get through this, and then it's sort of smooth sailing or clear sailing, for lack of a more ridiculous pun, if you get past 21.50. There's always a chance you can start to sell this news off and you get a consolidation at previous highs. That'd be about 20.40 to 20.50. That's where I'm aiming for the dip buy in Carnival. Always choose to, I go Carnival because A, it was their news this morning, but B, they tend to have the best volume in the space. That's the go-to stock to trade. But it's a breakout on the daily chart. Hopefully the market wants to cooperate with us here. Like, we haven't even talked about the fact that the market, Room went over some levels, but essentially flat to slightly down on the day, right? And you wouldn't know that by checking out some of the names that are running, and that's really what it's all about. Is you got to find what's moving, and these are the names that are in play. Up already 5%, but doesn't mean it can't go more.
Yeah, and no better place, watch.tradertv.live or the sticky note. Look at the three names we have. Twitter, NEO, already long and already in the money on both of those. And the next one is CCL, record bookings up 5%. You have that 20 support. We got to go long around 20, 30. There it is, watchlist.tradertv.Sean. I will put it in the chat one more time here. And by the way, just so I don't get in trouble, I've offered, I'm long, I just checked my account, I'm long $26 on Twitter, so I'm gonna get out of 10%. I just put 55.50 as my out in my longer term account out of 10%. I mean, I have to get something out, man. I mean, the fact that we were long $26, this thing is up to 55, like 30%, 35% in 2 days. I feel like that's a good call. We screwed up on AbbVie. Remember, we got out of AbbVie at, what was it, 140? No, it wasn't 140. Yeah, it was 148 or something on AbbVie. And then now you're seeing where that is, 161. So we did make a mistake by getting out of a third or so of our AbbVie. And then we did get out of our new core as well. That was 148, and that's now at 151. So that also, selling your winners sometimes is a good move. Sometimes not, but we will get out of a little bit of Twitter there if it does take out 50-50. Okay, so CCL, man, shout out to Daryl if you're watching. I know you've been on this name for quite a long time. I don't know, man. It does have a bid imbalance on it. It can come back in here to 2050 is where I'd like it. We did put that call out. I have a bid right now of 2030 in case it falls. I mean, I'm just trying to get some decent levels in. I don't really have anything on a charting wise here because you got to go back to 20. If we fall to 20, then that's a no-brainer. Some of these highs here, 2060, 2050 come into play. So there is opportunity here on CCL. It's just like it's got to come back in a little bit. I don't mind taking out the tops, but obviously we will be distracted with a few other names like NEO off the open because NEO's not really moving, man. We're long here at 2404, and we only took out 20% here at 14s, but hopefully that can get going. Needless to say, CCL on my radar today. Any sort of a dip back in, we do want to get long. And now that I see this is above 50, let's put a bid here like at 55 or something. Maybe we do get that dip in, and we'll look here quickly. CCL is, you see Twitter starting to pair off a little bit, which is fine. We're already out. Like, we only have 20% left of Twitter. Big time move there. CCL, 500,000 shares on the bid. Definitely helping this thing make some highs. But watch out for the market, man. I mean, again, another 5%. CCL has been beat down. It was what, $16? Yeah, it was $16 about 2 weeks ago. So being up to 20 is nice. Record bookings is nice. I like CCL to the long side.
Noteworthy move here, guys, for the Canadian dollar happening. Back to 80.5 on a spike up here. The White House saying they want to increase imports of Canadian oil into the U.S. So that's going to help the CAD, obviously, moving higher. Let's talk Tesla here quickly. I put on the board there all-time highs, but when you sit back and kind of think about it, do we get maybe some money moving out of Tesla today and towards Twitter on this news?
I mean, I tend to think not. Ooh, that wick is ugly on my 3-minute chart. I'm not going to be using that. I tend to think not. If Tesla's going to pull back, it has to do with just how strong a run it's put in, right? Like, it's more to do with 740. It's a 50% move from the bottom, essentially after it broke out yesterday. Like, it got through that 50% move to the upside, and then you got to 1150. So I think it's more of a rejection of that level if we get any kind of a pullback on Tesla. And then the previous top, that support. Like if you get down to 1117, I want to be long in front of 1117 on Tesla today. Your only possibility for short would be at 48.49 in front of a 50 level. And when that goes, just sort of take that kind of a thing out. And that's just because it's one of those round numbers and you've gone screaming into it. There have been, when you've got these big moves in Tesla for a couple of days and you make a new fresh high, a lot of times you get that consolidation short opportunity, right? And sometimes you don't get it. We get a gap down there, but other times, going back into last week, you do see that chance, and that would be what 1150 is going to get you. If that Twitter theory holds up, I suppose that would be another reason why you could run into that resistance. But it's just such a tremendous run. When you get runs like that, there's almost always going to be some profit taking out there somewhere. But speaking of profit taking, Brendan, I know you're talking about a symbol that people hopefully take their profits on, because as fast as it goes up, that might come down.
Yeah, crazy move. SBFM, 6 million float. So that's the first thing. All-time high territory right now for this thing. It split 1 for 200 back in February. It used to be a penny stock. 525 is really the only level I'm going to have a look at today. I will not short this thing unless it's below 525 and moving to the downside in a hurry. This is fantastic news as well. So there is some sentiment behind it as well. So mRNA technology proven to be effective against cancer cells that were grown in culture. So great news for them. But tiny, tiny little stock, tiny, tiny little company, guys, SBFM.
Yeah, and
Sunshine Biopharma.
I like the name.
Yeah, why not, man? I mean, Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, it's been a good one for SBFM. I mean, Brendan just went over some levels there, so there's not too much to talk about. Are you in it yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, what a big move up here. Like we mentioned, it's been sort of up here before, and now it's right back in. Nice little bottom there of $2. Yo, what's up, Randy? What are you up to, man? It is coffee time. There's Randy. What's up, Randy? There we go. Thanks for the coffee, by the way. Okay, so now we'll see.
If you're seriously?
If you're gonna get it, I'll take one. Yeah, I'll take one too.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. There you go. Okay, so thanks, Randy, for that one. Valeria, so we don't need a refill at 9:30. Randy's doing Omen's work right now. But there's SBFM right there, 650 coming through. So watch out for that, taking out those tops. Brendan just went over some levels there. With only 5 minutes to go, NASDAQ imbalances just came out, so let's have a quick look. Obviously, TQQ comes out there, and if you guys, that's again an ETF with the NASDAQ. So if you were worried about that, that's an Ultra Trust Pro shares, so you'll see that one going through as well. BAC, sorry, I was looking for NASDAQ. There's SBFM right there with a nice little buy.
That has been balanced.
Yeah, for some reason. So there it is right there. People are interested. So there's 300,000 shares to buy off the open. So you got at least 300,000 shares coming on that opening print, right? So plus the 116. So excuse me, about 420,000 shares or so coming through off the open there. Anything else on the NASDAQ? SNDL, sell, but these are all small. Excuse me, Twitter's been paired off. So if you notice that one, Twitter's now been paired off. So there's no more Twitter there. There it is right there, 500,000 shares. CCL still with the big buy, but we're on the bid of that one. With only 3.5 minutes to go, man, this is going to be an awesome open, I feel like. Watch out for the NASDAQ. It's kind of barcoding right now, not doing too much. I always think like we can try to test 15,000 any day, especially when we're close to it. So we're only 100 NASDAQ points away from that, which isn't that much. That's 15,200. This is 15,100. So it can move 100 points, no problem. It's already done that today, this morning. So let's wait to see what happens with the NASDAQ here as we're getting ready to open up. CCL, NEO, and Twitter, honestly, the three stocks that I'm looking at. And then we did have, just quickly, if the NASDAQ does break, it's come back in here because of a fall down. But this 316 here, shout out to Stone Cold, who apparently kicked butt on WrestleMania. So that was a good job there. But this 316 coming into play here on Microsoft if we do get that. And I did write down 312. So I am bidding right now Microsoft 313.10. So if that comes in, you can watch out for this 312 break to the downside. If we break 312, then we're going to be in a problem for sure with Microsoft. So watch out. I'm bidding 310 low, and then we'll watch out for this 312 bottom possibly here on Softy. We want to get longer into 312.
Yeah, exactly. And yeoman's work.
We just got those bids, by the way.
by the way. Just letting you guys know. Like,
What just happened? Look at Microsoft.
What just happened in Softy?
I don't know, man.
What
It
the
just
heck was
tanked,
that?
and we got long now.
Is there news?
312.90. So I think the spread just opened up.
Last time I saw a spike like that at this time, like usually it's really good if you actually catch something like that.
Okay, well, I'm going to try here. No, I think it's just the NASDAQ fell down there. So now we're already, now it's already back down into 312. So we didn't have much of an opportunity to get out there, but the NASDAQ is cracking lower. There goes Microsoft right back in. So we just talked about where my bids were. So, you know, the honest trader is right here. There's 310.10 and there's 312.60. So obviously to be a little bit lower would have been nice. But right now, Microsoft's taking away some of these Twitter profits. Let's see what happens right now with Softy as that just dropped and we did not expect that.
The last time I saw something like that, remember when like Tesla did the same thing like a couple of weeks ago and just was like a couple of rogue orders and then it bounced right back off the open? By the way, that BRF, whatever it's called, stock, SBFM, be very careful. I understand it's done 40 million, but Sean and I were just talking about this. Like, it's liquid till it's not, man. It's a low floater. Like, this thing can halt on you. Don't get deceived by the amount of liquidity you see. Be careful trading it. Make sure you have an out. I'm looking to short this at some point today because I think it's gone a little bit too far. Yeah, it's got a good catalyst towards it, but 170% is a heck of a lot. Right now, 650 has given a couple of wick tops. So there's a chance it could try to break this and be a pop and fade type of idea.
Ooh la
Under
la.
1 minute to go. Thank you very much,
Cheers.
Rainey.
Thank you so much, Rainey. All right, cheers. Let's do this.
Cheers. There we go. I don't want to say cheers too hard because imagine we broke those. That would suck.
Well, we're not like, yeah, we're not going to
Don't forget
ram
yours,
these.
buddy.
Imagine we rammed those at each other there. That would have been bad. All right, let's get all set up here as we get our trading desk all set up. We have our waters here. We just took some profit there. So we'll go, Mamma Mia, what was that on Softy? We got long there. I mean, we still are long. We got some out of, I don't know, in the O's here as it popped back up and started printing a little bit. So let's go to the high side now for Microsoft. A little bit of a bounce back in the NASDAQ. And we'll have another monster on right now. And it's not on purpose. Well, it's on purpose, but we didn't have any idea this was coming through. All right, on the bells. Miss V. Oh, yeah, I didn't notice the green before. And now we go. We're all full out green now today. So let's go. The luck of the Irish.
And one. Ring it, Miss V. Oh,
Jesus.
Whoa.
Okay. That's banned now, Miss V. That was, that was intense, boy.
Randy was obviously on that too.
Yeah, CCL. Oh, was Randy there?
He had, obviously,
I didn't even notice.
There
Okay, Miss V, I take that back.
There's no,
Microsoft,
she wouldn't do that to us.
Big time winner on Microsoft. We are absolutely monstrous right now, guys. Let's go.
So remember I said SBFM could spike to that 650 area. It just tried to break 650 again, got to 49 off the open, and then did a little bit of a flush. I managed to get, it's going crazy, by the way. I just got some at 31. If it breaks the high of the day, I am running to the hills here, but it is just going nuts back and forth. Softy with a great bounce, like that flush. It happened on Tesla.
As if.
It happened on Tesla too, by the way. It's not the only stock. There was this wick is ridiculous, but Tesla actually dropped right before the open as well, giving a possible entry point. So it wasn't just Softy. I thought it was only Microsoft.
Guys, I'm done. Like, honestly, I've made, this is one of my best days in the last month alone there, off that Softy bid, off CCL. I mean, look at CCL. Like, ring the damn register. Let's go. This is why we're here. We're here every single day. We're long CCL at 20.50. It's at 20.85 right now. We have $1.50 in the money on Microsoft. We have $3 in the money here. But the only thing we are worried about right now is NEO, as that is the name that's falling. We do have a bid at 23.80, so there it is. We are now long NEO. Maybe this name doesn't want to work for us, guys. We just took another bid at NEO, long 23.80 here. Let's see if it works. Softy, look at that out on Softy, guys. 314.80. We got out some there on Softy. What a beast that stock was right there.
Yeah, so remember that breakout on the daily? That's 23.90 on NEO. I got in. I took some for a scalp trade. I'm out at 23.90, right? Like, that was the support level I wanted to hold above. If it's going to try to consolidate it, to me, it's down around 23.40, 23.50. That's the place that I want to try to reload on NIO. It's got to be at that price. I'll go back over to that SBFM.
Ooh-hoo.
It was going absolutely nuts. It did take out 650 again, but it has another wick top. So it put a wick top in there once. It's put another wick off high in there at the same price, up to 60.74 this time. But it is resisting that 650. I'm looking for a reload on DWAC because that's got back to 53. Market going nuts off the open here, but it's to that upside, guys. Holding on for CCL. That's gone the breakout, and NEO is coming into that second level.
Guys, what kind of a day are we even having? Like, we're long CCL at 2050. I shout out Daryl Flinch. I tell you guys that I'm putting my bid there at 2050. We get long 2055 as CCL off to the races, man. Yes, sir. Another one here. Wow. I'm like just amazed at sometimes how these trades just turn out for us. Absolutely monstrous, man. And look at our out on Twitter. Like, okay. That worked. We'll wait on that. I got bigger fish to fry right now. As here comes Neo back up to the upside. Excuse me. We are waiting for 20. I mean, now my offer's at 24. We'll cancel that, see a little higher than that. See if we get back up. Yeah, I mean, 24 is fine if we can do that. Nice little move back up. We did lick some of our wounds. This will be a negative stock, but wow, man. CCL just takes out 21. This is an unbelievable day right now, man. I feel like we're at the carnival here, Brendo.
Big mover, yeah, huge moves right across the board. ATER, guys, another one we were talking about yesterday, testing $4 up there in the pre-market, trying to get back up there at the moment as well on decent volume. So highly shorted one, ATER on the move.
That's another one we got to lock and load there. CCL, I think we talked about a little bit about the target, that 2150 level, which is coming pretty quickly. We just got to 21, takes them out, and then 2150 on the daily is your next level up. So I'm going to get it all out in front of that. Bit of a pullback overall in the market there. Not too much, but just enough that I feel like some of these names started to come back in. DWAC was a good chance for a reload on this wick top. I just missed it with CCL going, and then of course getting back into that SBFM when it's again rejecting that 650. But here's that chance to get 54s one more time on DWAC. We had 54s and 53s. It'll show last in, which was 52.88. But I'm looking to short this one in front of 54 if I can get another shot at it. This quick whipsaw action back and forth on so many names at the open, and you want to make sure you're not over trading at these like whipsaw prices, because you can get a really bad price really quickly there. So there's this SBFM here. A couple of times, it did stop out once and it put another wick top. I got a 3-minute chart up here. I just got some out in front of 6 even. I'm gonna look for 550 and then 5 even to the downside here on SBFM.
Like, we're just licking our wounds with Neo here, but it's really not that bad. We did get our 2380s long, and then now we're just getting some out. Let's just wait to see if it does come back up. We do have a bid down here at 2320, just in case we do dip into this level here. And then we can use 23 as our outs. I mean, the very bottom would be 2280. So let's actually change our Neo bid a little bit lower. Let's see if we can get something around this 2320. That way we can use this 2280 as the bottom for that name. Okay, Microsoft, again, like just beasting itself all the way back up to the upside here. I'm not even sure, man. We're going to get another bid out here if it comes back up, but this is $2 in the money and just still rocking. We do want to look at Twitter as it, damn it. I was just like organizing my trades, and it was going to come back over here now that we have our stop orders in, and now that CCL, like we just tweeted this out, by the way. I gave you 3 names on the sticky note. I mean, CCL, bang, right there. Beautiful, beautiful upside move on this name, guys. I know Neil has it as well. We are just cleaning these markets up today. Neo, monster move back up. Just hit 2390. Maybe that should have been an out on VWAP, so let's try to take that, and if we have to hold a little piece, we will do that. But Facebook, another name that we talked about the other day, super strong into Facebook. Look at this one go, man. Facebook up another 1.5% today when the market's down. We love us some Facebook. Neo, we should have got that out, man. I didn't even recognize that. Back up to 23.85. Let's put an offer there in case that run happens one more time.
Yeah, and I've now got my offer in on CCL. If it gets to that 2140 area in front of 50s, we're going to take it. I just got my reload in NIO, and again, waiting for that second level. But ATER just put a break. It was already breaking out. You saw it go through 4, but pre-market high break, and it's starting to reject it. This is another sort of low float. It's a low float, but it's more like a high short interest runner. So you do have to watch out for squeezes. But at this time, I'm seeing a wick off top to 420 and then trying to reclaim the $4 area as we speak. And when you get a wick off top on a double top, resisted around this price, I'm going to go for the first trade of the day for myself on ATER, and it's going to be right at this 4 mark. I'll add to it only in front of 410 to get about an 05 price. I want to risk 15 to 20 cents on the trade, so let's see if we can't get a few more shares here. But just it could also consolidate and break up. So the stop goes at the high of the day, and there's no getting cute about it. If it takes out the top, this has a lot of room to be able to run here. Like if it breaks through this level, we could really start to go. There's nothing till about $6 on ATER, but for now, this 4 to 420 mark is of concern. That's why we're shorting it.
All right, you're gonna see me still in Twitter. It's more because we are watching it, but we do have money on the line here. So it just made a nice move back up to 54. It looks like, I told you guys I was trying to offer 55.50 in my own account. That has yet to get hit. Whether or not it does or not, who knows. But there's a nice little bottom being made right now at 53 on Twitter. So I think this is probably worth stepping in. I'm not into Facebook right now when it probably should be. Let's do a little bit of a reload here just in case this does, we'll change our default a little bit because we don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so there's a nice bid. We did get that in. If we do take down like 52.80s or something like that, then let's get out of this. We're not going to give this all back, obviously. So let's go long into Twitter right now. We've reloaded it. We got it at 52.30, so 53.30, sorry. Average price now 52.80. That's where we're going to get out. If it comes back down in, we can get out of this name and then not worry about it. It does look like there is some sell pressure coming into this name. So Twitter right now, let's not hold this all the way back down. We can always regroup. But that's what I'm looking at here on Twitter. Looks like it's going to take down 53 right now.
Oh, and yeah, like I said, I just got into NIO. I'm going to quickly show you afternoon support 23.40. So the long at 23.50, afternoon support 23.40. Watch out for DWAC here. It's going to get pretty close to that 51. No, sorry, it got 251. Breaks 51. I'm looking for $50 on DWAC. Obviously, this is sort of like the other side of that coin with the Twitter news, and they've just been under pressure. Tesla about to go green on the session.
Woo woo.
Hopefully, I didn't just jinx it there, but there was that pullback. This wick is ridiculous. There was that pullback initially that you saw Microsoft and a few other tech names start to go down. Now you're going to try to test this 1150. So here comes 1150 in an absolute hurry on Tesla. I mean, it screams breakout at this price, especially the way the market is going. I would normally be thinking about a short here, but this feels way too strong, man. I'd rather take the break.
I mean, we just reloaded Twitter at 53. It's at 53.70 right now. So again, man, we're just stacking on top of cash, stacks on stacks on stacks right now as we got a little bit out there. And by a little bit, we got out of 60% of that trade as it just ripped up through VWAP. Our best outs, though, is 50. So here it comes back down. We're going to take it out if it goes back outside. But I'm just going to try to hold this. If it goes back up, fine. That's what it wants to do. And Bob's your uncle on that one. We will hold this to see if we could take 55s. But again, if it does break back down below this area, just because we were able to get some out, now at least we can be flat on this last reload, worst case scenario. So that gives me, solace to sort of hold to the upside now because, hey, man, we're here to make some cash, but we're also trying to make the right decisions as well. So let's get greedy when greed is necessary. And on Twitter right now, we have our out, so we can hold it a little bit higher. It looks like we might get stopped out, though. Remember, 52.80 is going to be our stop zone here for Twitter. So it looks like that's going to happen, which is a good thing we did take some out there. But we're just bouncing around. Let's watch out. A lot of volume coming into this, but it's all sell side. Remember what I thought when the market opened, that this thing would just rip to the high side there? Quite the opposite. It kind of danced around. It got as high as 54.50 off the open, but once those imbalances got hit and they're out of there, Twitter, those buy imbalances, got off the market. Now you're seeing it start to fall back down a little bit. So be very, very careful. It's a good thing we did get out of some of our NIO trade there as it's coming back down to a reload spot down here near 23.20. That's Brendan. What's up?
Decent move so far for Black Rifle Coffee. Once again, not a lot of volume, but pretty good look here. 24.5 up to 26.5. Just made a day high there. They exercised some warrants aftermarket yesterday. Big move down in the aftermarket, but trying to get higher again for BRCC.
Oh, man.
Black Rifle, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were going to put that on our watch list from yesterday, yeah. BRCC. Good call, Brendan. I put NASDAQ because, of course, Black Rifle Coffee's on New York. So up to 26 bucks here. I hope this means, okay, good. The chart loads right away. There's that big move from yesterday, right? And then obviously that big move down in the aftermarket, like you just mentioned. And now it's starting to go one more time. BRCC, Black Rifle Coffee. I think it needs to get above here. That's 20. 27.50 before that march happens back to 29. So I think it can get there, but it's got to take out this little area before we go. Again, it can go. They've seen that go in the past, so watch out for BRCC here, trying to make some moves. I am looking to average into Microsoft if we get back down here, though. We're pretty much out of it. We're just waiting to see where we go here on the market, as the market's taking down lows now.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah, be careful. I'll do this for the initial break and then the immediate high of day reload on Tesla here. It goes 50s. It gives you that breakout. It goes to like that 53 for the scalp trade. It then comes right back in on a break. What's the next level? It's that previous high at 11.45. It dips to that price and gives you right back to 50. So a couple of scalps. But if the jailbreak can't continue, that divergence, yesterday we saw this happen. I'm going to do this because it's just a lot faster than going one by one. NASDAQ coming down while the ES is screaming to the upside, guys. So we're actually getting a bit of a divergence. And when this happened, you needed things to settle back out there. I like the initial strength on Tesla. I'm going to try and see if we can't get the dip as well off of 1140. But you kind of look at a wick off top there. And if we're going to reject this move, it could get pretty ugly rather quickly. Twitter's starting to come back as well. The weird thing is DWAC, which was going in the other direction obviously in the other direction from Twitter, relatively speaking, it stays weak. So if Twitter comes down, it's not like DWAC is screaming to the upside here. I'm still wanting $50, and that'll be the ultimate price. That SBFM has started to calm down a little bit, but wow, this thing has been wild. Like, it keeps trying to break 60.50, and then just gets a wick high and rejects. The last time, you actually had a lower high for the first time after breaking that 60.50. So it was 75 once. Now it just put in a 60 high. So I've jumped right back into the trade, but it has not been able to break 6 even. If it can't do that, the stock is not dead. Brendan?
A little IT services company up on earnings, guys. SST, decent report for them, 40% here, just trying to take out pre-market levels here. It's already gone 19 up to 24 for this one.
All right. Yeah, so many names moving around. Just for an update here, we took out a little bit more Microsoft again for the $1.30 winner right there. The market is trying to take lows, and Microsoft just retested back down to 312.20. So when it ripped right back up to VWAP right here again, we took it out. So that's 313.96. Again, monster winner. All is well over here on this side. But at the same time, man, like we keep saying this, you don't, and it's Neil's line, but sometimes you get these gift horses down here where it just tanked off the NASDAQ being weak in the pre-market, and we were sitting there. Like, it's too bad because I was about to put another bid down here at 312 when that tank happened, and that would have been pretty nice. But we'll take another piece out. We are very light now on Microsoft. We're talking like 5% light. This, like when this, first of all, when this happened, that was my out right into here. 313.80, there's no doubt about that. And then it ripped up to 314. 314.80. We're already looking at 316 as the break, and we're happy to do this. But if it does come back in, and just so you guys know, I'm bidding Microsoft 312.40. So if it comes back into 312.40, which would be right into here, this level, I'm dropping it if we take down 312. So again, like really happy with the way this day's putting out. We're already up huge. We're up way more than we were yesterday. And I'm just letting you guys know that sometimes you don't need to put on tons of risk if you take those trades properly in the first place. So with Twitter, and on that note, we got out of Twitter, man. It took down that 53 and we got out. Now it's right back up. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm still going to stay true to levels and stay true to myself and get out when levels are broken and not try to like Superman these stocks, man. We have some good levels, and I think we've made some decent money for everybody today.
Now watch me.
Watch me Superman that. Watch me. Ooh.
It's one of those, man.
Yeah.
You know what's up. You know what's up. We have to. I mean,
it's a good day, guys.
You said it. I wanted to go to ATR, and it's just like, you said the line. What am I supposed to do? 420. Did I just hear a 420 or see a 420? I was about to say ATR got to that 420 level a couple of times here, and I've been essentially in the same short. It has not broken the high. It's now starting to roll over and come back in here. So, watch out for your ATR. If it's held 380, and that's a pretty big level, so I'm not even bidding anything until we can test that. You've got to get down into that 380 before it's going to be any kind of a flush. That's very, very similar to SBFM and that $6 level, right? Like, it's not really capitulating unless it gets through there. In this case, though, I do want to get some out in front of it. Not all, but just some. We'll come back from Brendan to talk about Tesla, but a big mover there over for Brendan.
Cassava Science is falling apart here, guys. Apparently, the CEO has mentioned Overstock Digital's dividend, and management, quote unquote, remains receptive to using blockchain at Cassava. So nothing but downside so far for SAVA.
Open to using blockchain. Yeah, it might be a good idea there, Sava. And then just as an idea here for you, Neil, I don't know if you're watching CCL, but I just took another piece out as it went right up today's high. I know your targets are somewhere around here, but it's close, man. It's at 30. So I just took a piece out there on CCL. We'll wait. If we get that high, then great. But it went up today's high. So there goes CCL. And yeah, man, now I've got that stupid Soulja Boy song in my head, and I can't stop thinking about it. So there we go. Thank you to Savalis right now. I'm going to take this as a good thing. Sean and Neil are my trade gangstas. I'm going to take that as a positive. So thank you so much for that one, Savalis there. You are our viewer gangster, I guess.
Oh, no, I got
sense? Okay, so let's just keep on watching, man. Microsoft, again, right back to that level. Trying to get some new ideas right here. I don't really want to go back to Twitter. My number one stock is Microsoft. That's because, to be honest with you, we had that crazy bid. But my number one stock trading-wise, and I'm just going to take Microsoft for a gift, honestly. Like, thank you, Mr. Softy. You know, I've been supporting you forever, and thank you for that long at 312. That was amazing. But okay, Twitter has been my number one stock trading-wise. I mean, CCL is pretty damn close as well after some monster calls there. We got out of the way of Neil. We're looking to get longer here. I just think that now for Twitter, we have to look at AMC, actually. I forgot all about AMC. This is the thing, like when you're doing this job, guys, it's like crazy. There's so many things to look at. 53.60. So we need to take out at least right here, man, 53.60. I will test it if we can get above 53.50 again. So 53.50 is going to be a push long for me in Twitter, and then we won't hold it too far back in. But it is trying to barcode a little bit right now. I just don't trust what direction this barcoding is going to go into. Here, we've been dancing around 53 for a long time. So let's take a break. It has to break above, and then I know it's going to be hard to see this, but you have some. This is just 53.50. I like trading the 50 levels, so that's where I'm going to use that as a break, and that's also where the 50 period is. So 53.50 on Twitter. We're going to watch out for that. It could happen in like 5 seconds, so I'm going to get my order out now and make sure we take advantage of that, but that's what I'm looking at for Twitter. 53.50, and then Neo is coming back in a little bit here, so if we can get, ooh, what? We just missed that long, guys. You know where we were long, waiting for that at 23.20. That goes to 23.30. That goes to 32. So hopefully a little push down and we'll get longer on NIO.
I'll do that one. Shout out to Miss V, of course. As always, on CCL, I'm out of the trade, and you'll see why. I talked about this 51.50 on the daily. That was just the target. And when it's a breakout on the daily, and that's the setup for me, then the out is going to be in front of that level on the daily. There's always a chance you can get a consolidation up here and then a secondary break at 21.50, and then that can be a viable trade as well. Or we can simply pull right back into what could be the next level of support down at 21 and then reload the trade. So that's the two things I'd be looking for next. I'm only in the shorts now because after taking that one out, but ATR now testing that 80 level. If we break through, I want to hold some for next level down, which is 360. After 360, if ATR breaks 360, it closed yesterday at 42, but 330 would be the ultimate target. I'd be all flat if it were to get to that price. SBFM though, it is still going, it's still sitting sideways over here, and it's like it keeps on breaking that 650 and then cannot get through the high of the day without going in either direction. It's just chewing through volume. Like the algos are having a field day with this, 60 million shares, but you've been going sideways since the open, one way or another. Like you could be sitting long in the middle between 6 and 675. It breaks out. You hold for, make sure you hold on to it because I think it'll go. And the same thing with the short trade. If it breaks 6 even, I think it'll go down like 525, 540. It's clearly coiling up to make a monster move here. It's anyone's guess what that will be. But if you have an out, you're fine. But at this point, it just feels like an absolute coin flip, which means you got to take your stop.
I don't know. Marissa's asked me what I want for dinner. I don't know. I'll find out after. She made this tzatziki Greek chicken. It was marinating in this yogurt all day yesterday. So I don't know how the heck she's going to beat that one. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Okay, so CCL again. I know Neil got out. Still ripping here a little bit up to that 21.50. Let's hopefully can take that out as we still are long CCL. And this is why we don't mess with Twitter, guys. We talked about it, trying to take out some of these levels. And I said it's barcoding and just not sure which way. We're right back into support right here, man. So 52.50 has come in, and I'm going to wait on it. I feel like there's bigger fish to fry. The NASDAQ is falling back down, and what I'm waiting for and trying to have here is patience. We have NEO. We have a target down here where we want that to get to before we get longer. Microsoft, I don't know if we're going to get that target. And someone put in the chat, and thank you for that AMD was ripping. Yeah, AMD is starting to rip. I said change in strength, man. AMD should be strong today. But again, with this market falling down, how strong can AMD be, man? Up to 110 looks like a decent level. Let's put some bids here near 110 and get longer. What's up, Brandon?
I was just going to mention Mullen there. Nothing really to see as far as price action, but there was a big volume spike that came in at 280, I guess, on a test of 280. So a heads up on MULN. Also from yesterday, Polestar, that's still Mullen. There we go. Polestar, a little bit weak today, guys. Straight downside so far for GGPI.
Oh, yeah, Polestar's another one I didn't even look at today that was in play. And obviously, we thought it would do a little bit more than it did yesterday. It was a good long. But any here making Sphere 3D, making some big moves. It just got through this 270 top from last week, or I guess, yeah, last week. And it's starting to reject it a little bit here. It got 10 cents higher. Now you're seeing a little bit of a pullback. So you get that wick top. They also had their deal essentially got canceled by both parties, and then Brennan came with, I guess, the executive news as well. But I guess, yeah, battling pieces of news. The first one negative, the second one positive. This is the key price level here. I think if it fails at 270, you can pull back into 250. That's what's going on. Now, I haven't paid for shorts. I'm going to have to go ahead and do that. I'm on the bid of Twitter. At least I have been all pretty much since we got out in front of that 52. See if you can try to hold it. Now, the breakout was at that 51.5. I think you want to buy in front of 52, and then the 51.5 is going to be the support. I'm all out of NIO, but it is now trying to still hold that 23.50. Like, you try to break out on the daily. The second it failed that, we get out, try to reload off the first support down at 23.50. That's not going to happen. If it makes a base at the same price, then the same trade becomes valid. Like, if we can make a base and hold above 23.50 without really cracking 23, then maybe you can put one of those like fail breaks to the downside and be a long. But the market is coming in here. So I have only shorts in. I was looking a little bit at a firm. It did make a spike. Might have already missed this trade. And when the market comes down, I don't know why I always look at a firm, but it broke 40. It broke this all the way up to 49 and then put a huge wick top. So it might be a little bit late to that. But if it gives 48 to 48.5, that is one well I will come back to if it gives me the chance. Brendan?
I mentioned that SST all-time highs halted there on the upside, guys. Anyone wondering, it's about 43 million free float on that. So not terribly small, but a huge move anyways for SST now halted upside.
So update on dinner, shout out to Taco Eater there. We're going to have tacos today, Taco Tuesday. You know, Marissa told her, let's go. We're ramping up the tacos today. That should be good. The kids like those. So, because even if they don't, it's like ground beef or whatever she's going to put in there with cheese.
All
I mean,
cheese,
that's, yeah, just all cheese. That's fine. My daughter will eat the peppers and onions and all that stuff, but my man is a hard pass on that. Okay, AMD to the upside, hopefully. We are long this name, but, you know, we got long and the market just was like, no, thank you. We want to go down. So obviously we talked about AMD being relatively weak yesterday until the afternoon. I figured that it was strong. I looked at Microsoft, I looked at Facebook, and AMD was holding up the best in this move down. But again, I remember earlier I said, like, you know, we probably will test 15,000. Again, now we're down to 15 and we're already halfway there. It doesn't mean anything. I'm long now, so obviously that's not a good trade. But if we break back down below, we almost got out right there, this 109.60 I was thinking. This very bottom there is 70. Give it a little bit more room into 60s. And I'm just not going to let this one just continue to tank all day. So we're already waiting for for longer on NEO. We're already waiting for longer on Microsoft. So obviously, if AMD falls back down, we're out of this name and we'll regroup later. We don't need to give back what we've made just by holding something when the market doesn't want to go. CCL, though, wants to go back up 2 days high one more time, 21.40. Man, we have $1 in the money on CCL, so that's working out. But really, my attention is on my newest position, and that's AMD right now. Hopefully, this market can bump up a little bit here.
Yeah, and you're going to come back to DWAC. I'm not really ignoring it, but we are sitting looking for 50. But it's bounced off 51 now 4 times here while it consolidates. The fact that the market's coming down works in our favor, but you don't want the market to turn, and then you made a triple bottom here at about that 10% mark, too. Psychologically, it's very close to that 10% mark to the downside on DWAC. So it might be time to start considering getting out just slightly ahead of our target. Brendan?
This GGR, I mentioned yesterday, guys, this is that Gogoro, which is another battery swapping company. Heads up NEO. GGR here, day one after de-SPACing, had a nice move into the open, actually halted on the downside there at the open, but trying to get back higher again for Gogoro.
We took out 20% of AMD because it came right back to 110. So, that was our price, was 110.7 or something like that. So we just take a piece out there. Now it's starting. Now we got to take some profit now. As now AMD starts to rip back to the high side right now, up into the 20s. We'll take that if we can get a 22 offer. We'll take out another 10% there if we can. We just missed it. 109.22 there. Went right up to, oh man, that sucks. We should have been sitting there and got that trade. Our average price was still 07. So we're in the money on the trade, but wow, that bumped up there. You're right, guys. I think AMD is more aggressive than the market. That just ripped on a little bit of a bump up here in the NASDAQ. That stock took off. So let's see here. Hopefully we can get it. A little bit of a bump on the NASDAQ, and I think we can cruise with this stock. So let's see if we could take, I just missed taking 20 cents. My bad. Like I should have an offer out there, but I didn't. So here we go. Hopefully that can go back up to the upside. It looks like NEO just keeps on bouncing again. Like there we go. We were at 20, not at 30 there on NEO. So I'm going to put my order back to 30 because that would now be a 40-cent winner if we had that trade, but we don't have it on. So hopefully NEO can come back in and we'll get longer here at 30. Crazy because we were waiting at 20, but there's 30 on NEO. A nice little pullback to the upside there. Let's go AMD. Come on, buddy. Get back into the 20s.
Yeah, just about to get, there's a break on 380 just happened on ATER. So the pre-market lows starting to come into play. And I'm kind of looking at the late pre-market lows here at 370. I understand it traded a little bit lower than that, but just better volume when it was closer to the open. We'll take some out in front of that 370. Once that's broken, we talked about 360 already. I've now got a trail on DWAC. With the market really trying to flush in here, I don't want this getting back above this 51.50 even. Like it's a long enough consolidation. I think if we don't take it this time at 51 down to 50, then maybe this move is starting to end. And on the other side of that train, Twitter consolidating here. I'm on the bid at 52.25. Like forget about that. It's consolidating right above that price. So instead, just understand that this is going to move a little bit more. And hopefully, did I just get them? No, give me 65s. All right, whatever. Wow, I just went from 65 to 67. It jumped 5 cents. I'm going to try to grab the long on this consolidation in front of 52.25 instead as we go to Brendan for Happening Now.
Hey guys, yeah, positive start to the morning. Let's have a look at where we're at the moment. The S&P 500 back in the green. The Dow as well, 0.3 actually leading the way so far. You can see the Russell, a little bit of positivity for small caps today. Worth noting the negativity so far here. Both the composite and the 100 NASDAQ back to the downside after leading the rally yesterday. TSX having a nice day so far with some commodities rallying in Toronto. Look at Starbucks. I was just saying to Miss V, what a short that was. 86.5. Straight through to 84. We were wondering if there's going to be some follow through on that downgrade. Answer definitely yes. Tesla, on the other hand, just back to positive territory once again, chopping around for Tesla so far.
And it's all done. We'll do the final backflip. DWAC did break 51. It just bounced really hard off of 50 there. So I ended up getting out at 50-50. All said and done, like you could trail this move after Twitter got going. Like the Elon news came out and DWAC started failing off 54, and then it gave you like 3 or 4 chances to get it. Then the 53, that's yesterday's low broke. We got all the way to that 50 mark, so it looks like it's gone. Twitter, on the other hand, like that was really frustrating at that 52 and a half mark. We got there, It was on the bid, and then it just started, like, it made this legitimate bounce up to 53, now starting to come back. So it's still trying to consolidate lower, but, you know, you almost have to be sitting. I think you're just going to sit and wait to get picked up at that level as opposed to, you know, sort of chasing it in the moment. If I get 52.5, great, but I'm not going to chase this up at $53 on Twitter. I want to get in front of 52 even. SBFM, for all of my talk about how small the float was and tiny float, don't get deceived by the volume, it can halt on you, it can go absolutely nuts. It's not halting, and it's still going kind of sideways here. It still hasn't made that breakout. So I've been sitting in it since 9:36 for the second time to the short side. I think it's going to go. Like, there's no way it's going to hold this range all day long, but you can see it kind of coiling up here. Like, you need to have a stop in either direction, and at this point, like I said, the bet is it can go in either way. I just kind of feel when it's up 180%, and I'm going to sit in the middle somewhere, I feel the follow through when it comes to the downside is going to be worth it, but the stop's got to be at that high of the day. It's just a crazy one that it's not really doing much of anything just yet. And Tesla, that's going to be a somewhat frustrating one. We took the break, nice get the scalp out. We got the reload off the high of the day. That gives another good scalp trade. And then we were in it at 1140, and we're like, okay, we talked about getting back 1140 to play the uptrend. Got a scalp trade there, and then had too tight of a stop. And so we are out of Tesla. Up on it because every long, you take the first scalp out, and it hasn't really moved that much against you, but we're just flat, and we're trying to reclaim that 1150 level. I'm not going to do much until I can see us get back above that 1150 on Tesla.
I don't know why I'm obsessed with going long on AMD, honestly. I think this is going to be my downfall here. We got out and we got back in and we just took some profit on it, so all good. Here it goes. We just took some 97s out off of our long 80s, but we did get dumped out there at 109.60, like we said there. Now the NASDAQ's bumped back up, but you see AMD's not really going up, so I am a little bit concerned about this. If I just had sort of gone over to Twitter and gone long, gone over to Microsoft and bid these bottoms. I mean, we were here. I just looked at AMD and was like, okay, maybe it's stronger today. Maybe it's stronger than I thought, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. We'll take another 95 out. Hopefully it can come up to $100.20, which is sort of where we stopped. I'll put an offer here at 10 and then another offer down here at 25 or up here at 25. Maybe we take those out, but we're back into the money, so all is good on that one. But honestly, man, I had really thought that AMD was stronger. As soon as I say that, fire off the sausage cannons right now as we make everything back on AMD. But a nice little move back upside. But we did get stopped out there, right there off of our long. So we did take a 40-cent hit. And now we're back in at 80. So we're just starting to get some of these profits out now for 20 cents. And then there was 30 cents. So it's still going to be a negative stock, even on the reload. But now we can hold a little bit to see if we take out this 110 area and hold above it. So that's where we are right now on AMD. I still feel like we take out the high, but again, the NASDAQ pulled all the way back, man. And honestly, this didn't. So I'm a little bit, I'm glad I saw that note from one of you that said AMD was strong, and it was. It did start to go back up to the upside. But look at Microsoft. Microsoft off that bottom. And if I just took this, that was $312.80. You're now $1 in the money on Microsoft. Now I know it's a $300 stock versus a $100 stock, but honestly, for AMD to be flat, it's kind of ridiculous there. So we're going to move off of that. We did get a nice out, though, for sure, on NEO when that came right back up there. We took a little bit more out as we wait for this long down here at 23.30 now on NEO. I actually am bidding 23.31. So we're getting very, very close to getting back into NIO right here. What's up, Brendo?
ISM number there at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock. What am I talking about? Better than expected. Nice number, taking the market up to all-time highs here, guys. So 58.3 versus 58.1 expected. So a nice move for the market back to positive territory.
Yeah.
High of the
He meant days high. Yeah.
Look, sometimes
all-time highs come in the fall.
Yeah, sometimes the move is strong enough that you start to get ahead of ourselves. But hey, maybe it'll happen. Not going to happen in May, because May's not usually a good month. The whole sell in May go away, who cares? But the ES is still strong. He just got to the high and positive, and the NASDAQ down 0.6. SBFM finally started to fall in there, so it's been a roller coaster on this. And look, in either direction, like up at that top, like I got stopped out a couple of times and had to jump back into the trade. It is now working to 560, but it still has not broken. Like the first real pullback this morning was when it failed at $6, and it hasn't gotten to that level, the 5 to 525 area here. And until it does that, like if you're long the stock at $2 and you were thinking about where you might put, if you're really aggressive, where would you put like a trail? I don't even think you had a trail at 650. Some people might have put it at $6 there. That's why I was covering and then waited for that floor to go. But 520 is the next level to the downside. I'll get some out in front, and if it really starts to go from there, yeah, 4 to 420 where it broke out at 7 a.m. Like, wow, that stock was there at 7 a.m.
Yeah, I'm just reading some of these headlines here.
When Brendan told me about that stock, it's like, actually, if I just pulled it up and went long, it would have been sub 5.
Yeah, Brainard coming out here and talking about yield curve and increased risk of inflation or downside risks here, blah, 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 blah. So there we go. And we got hit out of our AMD. Again, so we tried it again. We were able to take a little bit of profit. We averaged into 109. There it breaks back down below. So a big time negative, not big time negative, but the negative stock of the day for me right now is AMD. But we did, and I don't know if we want to be long anymore, man. I mean, this market is cracking lower. So, but NEO, we are long into this level here, $23. Let's see if it holds. We will try to average in one more time, but things have changed a little bit with the Fed coming out here. So, you know, maybe we get to these. I mean, this is 23 right here. That very bottom is 22.80. I think we could probably hold out for that. But do we really want to be long some of these names into this market? I mean, look what just happened right here. Good thing we made our money early off of some of those plays, but you could see a downside move and still extending, man. This market is going lower right now and not much you can do about it. When the Fed gets involved, this is what happens, guys. We already know that, but again, not to talk negatively. It's just this is the market right now. Fed comes out, says a little bit of words. We've seen Powell be a little dovish. This is a little hawkish. So not move down. And by the way, we just tested 15,000 on the NASDAQ, which we did mention was a possibility. How come my Microsoft hasn't filled long yet? How low are we right here? What's up, Brendo?
It's a big move, guys, for nothing we haven't heard before from Brainard there. There's a number of comments you can see, but just going through these, there's nothing I can pick out to even show you or highlight that we haven't actually heard before. Yes, inflation is high. Yes, the Fed is still looking at raising rates. They're talking about consumer prices versus producer prices in the sense that it's harder on lower income households versus higher. So I mean, yes, it's inflation talk, but it's nothing we haven't heard before.
Right.
I mean, I guess the market, like, whatever. Like, sometimes what it is, it's where it's come from, not necessarily anything new, right? So I think that's probably more what we're seeing here. I'm going back over just trying to find something that was at a valid level that I liked to the short side that we can still get into. Pinduo Duo, no chance. Square, no chance. Block, I should say, no chance. That's now, I mean, forget about it. Like, Block is well past that 40, those 43s, 44s. You're now breaking 140 to the downside on Block as it looks to fall even further. By the way, ATER, that second level there, that I talked about, the 370, that is holding up. This pre-market, I want to call it the pre-market low. It's now making another consolidation. And remember, we always talk about with these names. If it holds this pre-market low level pretty much throughout now till about lunchtime, like, that's set up for another run. And then it becomes a breakout at 420. And you know that if this takes out Forex, look at the daily chart, right? If we hold 370, I know I'm short, but if we hold 370 and then we take out 425, like, $5, $6, like, this has a lot of room to run. That's a wick off top, so we're going to usually short those every chance we get. But if we can hold that consolidation, this has a lot of room to go on ATER, which is why take out profit. No one ever went broke doing that, and track it. As long as it holds that higher low from yesterday, this could be one to watch. 14 to 18% short interest on ATER.
Okay, so NEO testing 23, we've talked about that. And Microsoft, man, testing 312. So this is where we got long earlier, so we'll go long again. We're long right now at 312.30. We're in the money now while we're flat, as this just dances around some of these levels. So we're gonna have to be very, very careful here. Obviously a break lower, and there's some problems for Softy and for the market, as we just talked about that Fed speech coming out again here. That's never good, man. Fed speak, I guess, not speech, but that's come out a little hawkish here on the market, and the NASDAQ falls back in. So, all was rosy the last couple of days, but remember, man, we've had a big, like Neil just said, we had a big move up the last month, or let's call it last 20 days or so. So, for some of this to come back off, makes a little bit of sense, obviously. So just watch out for your trades. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say other than, you know, we're long into some of these levels. And if it breaks lower, it breaks lower, man. We're going to give some of our day back off this. But we'll just test to see what the NASDAQ does around this 15,000. It just did to make a move lower. We're into Microsoft, which we feel is stronger than the rest. So it just brought us back to flat on this. But obviously, we need a little bit more here to make some money. There it is, out at 50. Let's see if we go higher there. We just take 15 cents. Now Microsoft's trying to go off a little bit of a bounce upside here. So yeah, again, I'm not going to be any fool and not let this rip too far. So whoopsies, as I just say that, I almost make a keystroke error. Let's take more out here. Hopefully we can get into the 50s on Microsoft, and then we'll roll from there. But yeah, really right now, just trying to hold out hope that this market does come back. And when you use the word hope, it's never a good thing. So it's out of our control. All we can do is trade levels. And if it keeps going lower, man, then we got to get out.
Yeah, that's the key thing. Like, well, the market's going to do what it's going to do, and the wick top. Remember, the ES was strong. Like, that was insane. Like, this is what I'm about to talk about CCL. That's why I'm coming to the ES. It just made the wick top, and then you're pulling back through, breaking the low of the day. Here is support yesterday afternoon, and then this key level 45.55. I guess you go back into Friday in the afternoon was resistance, maybe turning into support. And as I see us pull back, if we bounce off that, what's been strong? CCL 21, key support on the ES as well. So I'm going to see if I can't jump into CCL in front of 21. If we bounce off this level in the futures, could be a good entry point on what was a strong stock. So been hunting for the last few minutes for something that made sense. Going to go for CCL here. Ms. V?
Hey guys, it's a very busy morning so far. I hope you're doing great, and let's take a 1 second pause and smash the like. All together now is the perfect time. We're now at 1,300 likes and we have 7,000 people watching. So please help us to get that 2K likes, and back to you guys.
All right, I'm just like taking some out here on Softy because yeah, it's going to be another winner for us. And again, just go back to the well, man. Like, why am I even dealing right now with AMD and things like that when, like I said, man, Softy was a big one. Unfortunately, we did lose on AMD. That really does suck. But Softy, we took a couple outs there. I told you our average price was 33. We just took a 66 offer there. And now you're starting to go upside here. Let's go, Softy. I may just take some more out here as we, like I said, this market moved downside, unexpected, so it gave us some levels that we didn't think we'd get. I did get out of Neo, man. Like, this name did not bounce. So we take a 30. I get some out at 14. This might be another loser for us here on that. Come on, Microsoft. We're waiting in the 80s to get out now. As we rip up to, I mean, why am I even waiting in the 80s? Let's just go to 76 here if we can get that, and then we'll cancel our 80s and see if we can fly a little bit higher. Microsoft just goes to 80 there. We are at 84. Let's see if it can go back higher, get us out in the 70s off this trade. It would be at this point a 50-cent winner for us as Microsoft just keeps on stacking them up, taking, you know, some of the blood away from our AMD trade. And it's just a good thing we got out of the way on AMD, guys. AMD is now at 108.50, so that out at 109 just saved us some bank and got us back into Softy. So really happy that we avoided that AMD move on the way down, as it is still going lower and lower and lower. And I don't know, man, this NASDAQ, it just resisted again 15,000. So let's see. If we do take this down, then you got to look out below, man. It's not holding any of these bottoms right now. So more pressure coming to the market. I think we're going to take another piece out here on Softy.
Yeah, Super SPAC man, like, you know, when it comes to CCL, he's asking about, like, you know, fundamentals a little bit there, and I don't disagree. I don't hold any airlines or cruise lines personally. I'm not a huge fan of them. But it's more about the fact that it was a strong stock in the morning at a level that we liked while the market was trying to bounce, right? And that's what I was looking for. Like, where is a level that I can defend or be in front of that we have a chance to bounce the same time as the futures? And that's what it provided. SBFM has found a bid at 550, so I jumped in front of it. Now at this point, trail to 6. If it breaks back above 6, I'm out, or we break 5 and we're headed down in front of that 420 area. So it's now turned very binary on this stock. We'll see what happens, but it's starting to fall once again. But a bit of a buyer at this 550, so took a little bit more out. Brendo?
Online e-commerce company from China, guys. I kid you not. I can show you the name of the company if you can see it there. Yeah, it's Ding Dong. DDL. Up 30% here. It just came off in a hurry from 680 to 7, guys. So Ding Dong is today.
Oh,
There's lots you can do with that.
I got to find the other one. Where's this one? How about Dada and Ding Dong there. Very popular ticker names today, apparently. Okay, so here comes Softy right back up, man. I mean, we were waiting in the 90s now again, but like every time I look at this, it's like it goes to levels and then freaking stops, man. So I don't know. I feel like I got to take some more out here. Whether or not that's going to be right or not, I don't know. But Microsoft right now just keeps on resisting this 312.80. So there it is. We take another piece out of that. We're still waiting in the 90s. Hopefully we can get back up. And then after that, it'll be smooth sailing to the upside. We won't have as many shares, obviously, on board. But I still trust that this name can make us a little bit of money here. Microsoft has been a cash cow for me today. So, so far, so good on Microsoft. But right now, as you can see, Twitter having a rough go right now. To say the least, man. Twitter's all the way back down in, so that's not looking very good for Twitter shareholders. Back down into 51, not 61. I'm thinking about Microsoft too much. But that's come back in now. So I don't know where you're going to find some support here. The market just tanked, and this name tanked with it. So watch out here. Twitter's giving everything back. It was up, what, 7 or 8%? Now only up 3. We got out of Twitter, man. So it was a big trade for me today. My number 1 stock is going to be Softy, but number 2 is Twitter, followed by CCL, which I didn't reload, but it's at a decent level here. Let's see if CCL could take something out like this. Then we'll go back longer. 21.15 break on CCL, and your boy's going to hit that for longer.
Yeah, another fall and another capitulation in there for SBFM. It just broke that 550, goes right down into 5, so I've canceled my trail. If it settles down at $5, which I think it's about to do right here, I'm going to move the trail probably back to the 580 mark, like this last consolidation, and then we'll sort of see what's up with it. CCL tried to go. The market didn't want to hold that support level. I think that's sort of the problem. Like the ES tried to go. It made a bounce. I did scalp some out at the same level that we took out in the morning. When it broke 21, it got up to 21.20 or so, and then came back down. Same thing happened on the bounce at 21. So I get the first leg scalp out, and then it just can't hold up. So if it breaks down, when you have a long here, it's going to be a tighter stop because real support I would expect to be back at that 2050, 2060 area, maybe even the opening break price at 2080. But 21 was hoping that we could get a bit of a hold on the ES, and it never happened. We tried to have that in conjunction with the overall market. It doesn't want to go. Twitter's not dissimilar, only you're a little bit lower here on Twitter. But now you're back to yesterday. Well, you're almost back to yesterday's highs, that 51.40 level. If it can consolidate there, I need to see it hold and try to bounce back up. If you're trying that little scalp bounce to the upside, in a down market, I'm basically sitting there holding the shorts, which none of these are big market followers. They're working, but neither one of them is accelerating with the market. Of course, DWAC. You know, you have a target and you get out, and a lot of times it's not going to age well, but $50 was a target. It was a level on the daily. I typed NZ, so now this doesn't want to work for me. But that bounced briefly off $50 and is now trading at 49. So clearly that would have been a hold. Should have just held on to when the market was flushing, but DWAC a winning trade, but probably gave it up a little bit too early.
Yeah, I mean, into that market flush.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do about that? Okay, we're reloaded. I mean, let's see what we could do here with Softy. If it takes down 312, we know the play, but we reloaded and got some out there at 40. So right now our average price on Microsoft is 312.18, which is what we got right now. I feel like this name has been stronger and held up okay, and gives us these opportunities to get back out. So hopefully it can rip up again into those 30s or whatever we need for this to happen, and we can get something out here on Microsoft up into the 30s. We'll take another out if we can get it. Then in the 60s, if we're lucky enough to get that, then fine. But as you can see, man, the market's showing no love now. It's just all the way to the downside and keeps on going. I think we got to find some shorts. I got to find something that's relatively weak right now. And I think that we found it with AMD, man. I mean, AMD now breaking back down below 108. Like, are you kidding me right here? We were long this name when we thought there was relative strength, but there is not. And this name just keeps on getting pumped to the downside. So just to give you guys an idea, man, I'm not going to be going long on AMD. If anything, if this market does bump up, which we need it to, which would be great for our Softy trade, but AMD will be a short if I could find one. Just need to do that searching right now. It's only 10:20, man. Like, I feel like the market's been open for days now, and we're just open for 50 minutes. So let's wait to see what happens now as the first hour wraps up. But I like Microsoft long off these levels, but the market doesn't want to go long today. So we're going to get out on a break of 312, a little lower than that. So watch out here if you are into Microsoft. We're still holding, and we're still green on the day. Everything is fine. It's just we have given some trades back because we didn't have any big shorts when that market tanked. So let's try to find those. If the market does rebound here, I feel like this is definitely a sell day, guys.
And that ding dong, well, I'm not even saying DDL. How do I not say ding dong? Making another run at it here. It pulled back to 6, and is now trying to go again. I don't think we went over the daily, but it did get to $7, which is obviously a nice round number in psychological. If it pulls back any further, watch out for 525. That does feel like that's the next big level of support, but that's on the higher time frame. For now, it looks like a short off of 7. I just was able to pay for shorts under a penny per share, so relatively cheap. So cheap, even Arun might want to grab those guys. But either way, DDL doing tremendous volume. If you're looking for something still strong, it looks like it's just these, small cap, micro cap types of names which are still going. Twitter continues to bounce off of that previous high, that 51.40 from yesterday's top. Still bouncing off that level. Nice consolidation here. If it can break back above 52, going to go for a 52 long. Well, hopefully the market bounces. It's retesting the lows. I don't like the breakout. If the market's going to break 45.5 on the ES here, I'm going to hold off for a second and see if we can't bounce off 51.4 one more time and find a little more strength to grab the Twitter long. Brendan, ready for the small cap recap.
What?
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. Let's jump right into a few names here. SBFM, we were talking about just before the open. I mentioned 525. We're just bouncing off 525. It was said wasn't going to be short unless it got below and was holding below 525. The way it flushed, so it ends up being 6 to 615. So the way it flushed through 615 and 6 got me involved initially down to 525. Now, if we get below 525 and hold below 525. I'm actually going to add back on there and see if we can't get a bigger move back to the downside for SBFM. Yeah, DWAC hard to avoid with the Twitter move today. So 54, 55, pretty obvious in the pre-market there. Just bounced off 48 to the downside. So straight southbound for DWAC today. Little one RCON as well was moving around in the pre-market. So it took a shot at that. There's 150 and 160 on the daily chart for RCON, guys.
All right, the stocks just keep going down. So we got out of our Microsoft trade as it breaks through 312 there. So yeah, still positive name for us. Remember, the only name that were not super negative, but our worst trade by far was AMD, and that just kept cracking lower here. I'd like to short this name, and we got to find something to short. The market is having no bounce at all off that Fed speak. So straight to the downside here, it would make sense for us to find a short. Now, any little bump up would be a good shorting spot for something at this point. I still feel like Microsoft is strong, even though you're still down that 1%, and we did take out some of these levels, but it just needs to get back going here. And I feel like we may have got stopped out, obviously on the downside, but hey, you never know where the downside is. You got to take stop outs at some point. So Microsoft gets stopped out at 312, and there it is right there. That tick right there got us out. It was really a break of 311.80, but now it goes, of course, right back up to the upside. So this was a name that we missed. We did go long. We did get stopped, but hey, that's Microsoft for you. CCL as well. Still waiting for that to come back up. That's not doing its little dance either. Wouldn't mind seeing this break back above here. If that does, then we can find a long there in CCL. But damn it, Microsoft, we just got taken out there on that 312, man. But now it's up to 312.50. That could be a big winner for us, but we don't have it on.
I just took some more shares out of ATER, if you remember that one. It's like the strength that it's kind of showing here, holding that 370 support. You're going to have to trim some. I keep saying it's setting up for a potential late day break, and it just looks stronger and stronger. It's still on a downward trend off a wick off top, but you look closer you get to lunchtime. I've seen this story before. If it doesn't take out the low in the opening rush, then for a gapper that's already capitulated off the open, which it did on a failed break, a lot of times that's a secondary run. So I'm going to play it on the cautious side, take a few more shares out there. Twitter, again, like I talked myself out of it when I didn't get the first consolidation there and it didn't take the 52 break, and then it ends up working out. It's trying to put in a bottom, but this market is clearly trying to reverse here. Twitter's just at a level that it just feels safe. It's crazy to say. It just feels safer off of yesterday's high. 51.4 there, that if you grab along, you kind of know where you're wrong. You can stop out at 51, you can retest it at 50, whereas if you short it from here, I don't know where you're wrong if you shorted from here. Shorting it at 55 made some sense. I felt better plays. Obviously, this was the best one, but I think there were safer shorts to be in. Like DWAC was an easier short to be in. I felt like SBFM had a really good risk to reward. Just didn't really see Twitter as obvious as a short play there. There's a lot moving here. That DDL, I think, is going to be the next one. It's now consolidating off of 625. One more push up off the 7, and it feels like I can short it off the 7 even. But even its volume is starting to really die down here. SSL, I believe was the other one. So SST, we don't have locates on. This one's going absolutely nuts. 12 million in volume, but this doesn't have a ton of liquidity. And it's probably why there's no shares or locates available. Don't even get a quote on it for pay for shorts for us. So it's going absolutely crazy. It did have that spike up to 35, and that's a level I'd play if we could. I'm going to keep checking to see if we get the locates on it. It's part of that 100% type club, which means the opportunity is going to be there. But if I can only go one direction and it's already given that big of a pullback, I don't like chasing longs on these things when they've already given that pullback. From that point on, I'm looking for the short opportunity.
Okay, we are now into AMD, and we're fine. This is what we wanted. We wanted a little spike up in the market here. Looks like we got it. I mean, I just, like, watching that thing fall on that news was pretty epic. It just kept going. You have like one green candle in there and really no love. So again, I'd hate to be short here into this move back to the upside, because initially we were long this name, but we don't have a problem switching it up. So here it comes. Okay, AMD, I see you now. Now you're starting to come back down to the downside here. I do have a bid in the 20s for this, but I feel like right now is fine. There it is. We'll take out a piece right now. Yes, sir. There it is. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We reverse up the strategy right here and we go short onto AMD, and then right away, man, in the money at this 30 cents. We just took a piece out there for 30 cents. If this comes back into 108, which it's doing right now, man, this is going to be a good trade. Let's take a 25 out. There it is. And let's cancel our 108 flat. Maybe we get another bid down, but there it is. Yes, sir. So we go bang on that one I was looking for relative weakness, man. And AMD I thought was going to be it. Let's take a little bit of profit out. I mean, they could retrace back up. The market could take out 15,000 again, in which case our out is going to be here near 109. But let's see if it can keep going down. If we can get, honestly, guys, 30 cents and then 45 cents in 1 minute on a name, especially in a volatile market like this, you know I'm taking that anyways. So there's a nice move to that. I got to be careful that I don't say we, because again, remember, we're not team trading. Sometimes you'll see Neil and I go counter each other. Sometimes we'll be the same way. And again, we're just, as you can see, doing our own thing here. So watch out on the market, but I'm short right now, AMD. I just put another bid at 108. If we can get 108, that's great. And then hopefully the market retraces back down. We don't have many longs to worry about. I have Neo here, but that's, we just got out at 20. Like, again, we knew we were dead in the water on this name, so we're very light on Neo. I might just get this all out now so I don't have to worry about it. As AMD trying to test 108 flat again. We're there, man. We're at 108.05. So if that can come down just 10 more pennies there, we will get our bid. And then CCL, Neil, I still like the long, even though the market's kind of dancing here. A break of 21 gets us long. I have it taking out 21.05 here in order to get long on CCL. But for now, I prefer the market to tank so we can get out of some of our AMD, which is now 45 cents in the money, but bouncing here. So let's take another bid out for AMD, put some money in our pocket, and if it takes 108, it takes 108.
So I'm now into this DDL. We did pay for the locate. Still can't get that SST. Still nothing available there. But it tried to break 650 here. It got to 45, rejected, another consolidation. So instead of waiting for 7 even, the way the volume's tapering off, I'll take it here with a tight stop at 50. The short is at like 630, so you're really risking only about 20 cents. First level 6. 580, 560, like every 20 cents down makes some sense to me. So that's DDL. Tesla is the 1117 is coming rather quickly. Random price. I know it sounds like a random price, but if you go back to what was the resistance when it broke 1100, that was 1117, and we're coming screaming right down into that level. If we get a shot at it, that's where I'd like to pick up the next long trade. Managed because we scalped some out to still be positive on that stock, but you can see we're in a downtrend. The market's trying to hold up. This is the next one that's getting to a pretty key level in about $6 or $7 or so. Want to try to grab the log. 1117 on Tesla. That's the only level I like. CCL did break 21, but it hasn't gone too far down. So if it can try to hold off a little bit, we will go for that. ATER. Looks like getting a little bit cautious might have been the wrong call. I can go back here to the 15-minute chart. It's still trying to get through that 370. So it has the wick off top. Once it breaks this, if it breaks that 370 level, shouldn't say once, should always say if. I'm looking for an out at this 330 to 350 price range. Just looking for that next capitulation. The trend is really not broken to the upside on this stock just yet. That's why I do favor a breakout in the afternoon until that happens.
All right, so just another quick update here for you guys, because we are still in AMD, but we did get a bid there at 16, like we said. Let's get out, and if it takes 08, then it takes 08, and then we'll watch it fly lower. Update right now, because I'm getting ready to take another position here, long on Microsoft. If we take out this 312.80 level, which has been these bouncing spots, that's crazy that we got out $1 ago on that. That really sucks. But if we take out this 312.80, we're going to go there. AMD as well, reloaded. Near here, 108.90 or so, 108.80 or so on a reload. We'll take a short if that comes back in, but that's on AMD. And then out at 109 if it takes 109 AMD. But now is a short for that name. And Brendo, I believe?
There's a few more comments coming through here, guys, from the Fed's Brainerd. He's still talking. Yeah, inflation is too high. Yeah, no kidding. So just a heads up on the overall market. Remember, tomorrow we get the Fed minutes. So 2 p.m. tomorrow, we'll get the meeting minutes from the Fed's latest meeting. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things over in Europe are shaping up today. Miss V is watching. What's going on over there? What's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets gave up early gains and now mostly negative. Meanwhile, Danish Vestas wind is up more than 9% after Credit Suisse upgraded the stock on its shift away from fossil fuels. Back to you.
Yeah, still watching some comments coming through, guys, but that was quite the reversal. Now down 0.5% for the S&P.
Yeah, a bit of a, I don't want to call it a rug pull because it's not like, yeah, I mean, kind of. It's close, it's close enough to that. Like, it did look like we had the makings of a strong day, although the NASDAQ didn't want to seem to fall. Like, it was the ES that was running, the S&P 500 that was running, and the NASDAQ wouldn't come. That DDL, it's right at that 50 mark, so we grab this consolidation. I'll take, like I said, 2 cracks at it. If we do break 50, I'm out. We have the stop. So if you see this, if you see like this line here, it is in order, but it's not an offer. Like, that's just the limit, aggressive limit price of my stop. It's at 50. In the system, it doesn't display your stop line. It displays the actual limit order that's going to get thrown out there. So I don't want anyone confused thinking a stop is that high up. It is tight to that 50 mark. It's just the way that it displays in our system when you use an edge A stop. I'm throwing it all the way out to 680 because I don't use market orders. We use marketable limit orders, an aggressive bid price, rather than bidding to infinity, which I'm not a huge fan, right? Like, I've had bad experiences in the past with market orders, and I just find it's a safer to not have them set up. SBFM, which I just tried to go to and typed incorrectly, it's holding 5 for now, but you can see, since the last 2 capitulations, it's consolidated and then failed to break back up. So I still think a 5 break can happen, then a 450 level to come to the downside. Although with this one, I'm no longer having a trailing stop. I'll play it by ear and have level 2 up. If it tries to take out 6, it could also put a curl in. If it puts a curl at that price, I'd almost want to add more shares if it tries to break VWAP and 6 even and can't get there. As I mentioned on that DDL, we had to stop at 650. That just happened. It just got taken out there. So we'll do that one. I don't want to say it's one and done because I want to try it again at 7 even. But first in, we'll take the hit on DDL and then look for the trade off of 7 even. After it's made this move, I'm not really looking for the long trade. Unless we take out 7, it's just going to be shorts. After putting that kind of a candle, that's an over 10% retracement. I'm usually hunting for a short after that.
Yeah, so good call on that one. We are also right now into AMD. So AMD comes up, fills us. Now we have the position we want. So end of story now. If you take out 109, we're going to be gone on this one. So AMD again on a retracement back upside. Let's see what we can take on this. What's that bid? No, we don't need that bid. Let's see if we go lower, man. If we can get back into the low 60s, we'll take a piece, which it's coming back in right now. And then we'll take a piece at the 50s as well if we can on there. There it is. Ooh, we just missed our 73. Or did we get it? No, we didn't. We were waiting at 63 there. It went down and dropped and then popped. So we didn't get the 63s there. But we are watching out for that one. Hey, 109 goes, we're gone. So that's going to be that play. And then it's kind of crazy because if this market rips, then we're going to be like a battle of two positions here, because we do want to take a long through 312.80 on Microsoft, but there it is. We just cash out something on AMD there at 60, so let's get another 60 if we can. There it is, moving to the downside. Now goes AMD. We're also bidding 51s. Bang. There it is, a nice reload. Yeah, buddy. A good trade here for me on AMD. As we reload that short, let's see if the market does want to give up the ghost and come lower. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. We'll take a bid at 40. Bang. There it is again. I mean, I don't know why I hit the monkeys here by Ape Nation, but there goes AMD back down to the downside. A quick in and a quick couple outs there. We're not trying to play around, guys. Like, if this market wants to go down, we're here, but at the same time, we're trying to scalp. So it's been a real choppy, needless to say, as the market tried to go back to 15 right there, came back down, and anyways, reload the short on AMD, and then there it is right there. A nice little 50-cent win off the reload. Like 50 cents in 2 minutes. That's why you see me taking a little bit of profit on this play. And I might just cancel my Microsoft, because if this market's going to tank, man, I don't want to get in by accident on Softy. So we'll wait for that one. Again, like, I really like this long, man, taking this level out. It's just, I don't like the longs right now, period. So we'll get out another of AMD just in case. We'll take another 40 there again on AMD on these reloads. It's going to be a successful stock for us since we switched up our game. But that's AMD. CCL, still like it, but it's only falling. Yeah. So we have not reloaded at all on CCL. We had this trade early. We're only holding less than 10% of this trade now. So let's see where CCL goes. I still like a break. If we ever change momentum here and get above 21, I like the long. But for right now, I can't say I like it too much, guys.
You say long? I was about to talk long Jeveron. So,
ooh.
I know. It's a cheap one. Whatever, man. I'm going to use it every chance I get. It's still doing volume. It just got positive, by the way. Like, this is a stock, and, you know, it was all to the downside after being such a big-time runner. I'll show you. This is what it was doing last week. Makes a double top at 16.50. Pulls right back in, but have a look at this previous high at $12. That support 12 to 16.50, and then when it reverses, what do we just hold? 12 even. Oh my goodness gracious! Why were we not long? Why were we not long 12 on long Chevron? Why? Because I didn't look at it. That's what happens to you sometimes when you get away from these things. But great level at 12 even. File that one away. If it breaks, long Chevron's got room to the downside. But if you look at yesterday's lower high in the afternoon, 13.70, and then up here at 14.5, I think those are levels to be faded. The volume is tapering off here as it is starting to slow down a bit, and you're at that time of day where you can get those capitulations. But 12, what a great level of support for long Chevron. Tesla's starting to come in. We're getting close to that 11.17 mark, like $6 away here. That is what I think should be that bottom, was a previous high. Now we're looking to find some support there. ATER, which I kept saying was going to go, yeah, it's now finally broken the pre-market low. So this just happened just now, getting through 363. It's the first time it got down here. If it held that level, and it can still do it, I suppose, I do think it can break out in the afternoon. But until that happens, the 360 break. I'm now on the bid in front of 330. We'll see if we can't get this one out. Similar to SBFM, very similar style trade there with the pop. Could not break at the open. It's the pop and fade when it tries to get that wick off high. Here is that Tesla. I know it's 11:20 right here, but I'll show you on the 15-minute what I was talking about if you're just joining along. When in doubt, zoom out. It's the top end of the channel that Tesla held for a week and a half, and that's what 117 is. Sure, it's a bit random. You'd probably stop out at 111.15, but I still want to get that long off 111.17 and see if it can't bounce off this. The market is pretty weak. The one thing, and I love the community for saying check out VIXI. I always look at UVXY. It's just what we got in our system here, and it is breaking towards afternoon resistance in yesterday. So if you get a turn in volatility at a key level, that's usually not a bad place to try to have a corresponding long trade, because then you're bouncing in two ways. Like, it's finding support off a key level in volatility or a key level in the futures, and then a key level in the stock. That's right here. I just got into Tesla, and we're right at that resistance level on volatility. So if we catch a turn on both, then it can work both ways for us here. But I'm going to stop out at 11.15 here. I'll go red on the day in Tesla if this doesn't work.
All right. A big one. I mean, a big win here for us as we'll spin the money because AMD, what a good reload on these shorts. And I did the same thing yesterday, man, and that was we just reversed our thought process. And, you know, we thought AMD on this move was strong, but then when it just started collapsing like this with absolutely no bids, of course, we reloaded the short right there. So short, we're making back the money that we lost, not all of it, because this was like $1 hit there. But let's see if AMD, we just took a 108.6 there, which it's at right now. We're short at 108.80, 70 cents in the money, and we're going to try to hold this as long as we can as we get ready to go over to Brendan with Sector Watch. Let's see what's cracking over there.
Hey guys, yeah, quick look at the overall market here. A bit of a reversal, almost an exact opposite looking board than we saw this time yesterday. 0.6 to the downside right now. It's the tech sector leading as far as decliners are concerned. Pretty much the entire thing here in negative territory. Same story for consumer discretionary. That is CCL. NCLH also working today. It's worth noting. RCL, tough to see, but RCL notably weak compared to the other two cruise operators. But consumer discretionary stocks in the red. Healthcare trying to bounce. Currently, we saw a bit of a move away from tech into healthcare right out of the gate this morning. Industrial stocks basically flat today. The rest of the board over here showing some strength. Utility, consumer staple stocks popping back up. The food names, the defense names back in play again today. Resource stocks as well. There was news on coal from Russia, the EU banning Russian coal imports. So some of the resource stocks having a pretty good day. Mosaic 3.7% there. On the fertilizer side, there's Twitter, another 3% or so on Elon news. 0.6 for the overall market to the downside though, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, and like you said, to that downside, and there's no shortage of stocks which are showing a lot of weakness. I just pulled up Uber here to quickly show you. Come on, 15-minute, load up. It's about to test a pretty key level as we look at about 35 to 35.20 here. And you can see on the 15, like it broke away from this price off 35, put in like a 35. Quarter to 40 area. So that little consolidation point, pretty key price. If we bounce off 35, that's another one that could go for long. Remember I was talking about volatility a couple of minutes ago? There's that turn on UVXY, right? So you get a bit of a top, double top put in going back into yesterday and a pullback. And that's one thing I like for those longs, but you're still churning to the downside on some of these names. Like you're still testing lower. There hasn't been an obvious reaction. I did grab the Tesla long. In front of this, it was 11.17 was that high. In front of 11.15 was a lower high. And now it's starting to test the bottom end. I got 18.5. As we're bouncing off the 11.15, if we can bounce off 11.15 and we continue the downward push, we continue downward push in volatility, then I would add to the position. But I want to continue to see UVXY go. But Tesla looking really, really weak down here. Like I said, I'll turn red if we break that 115.
I was watching that's what we're talking about, leading indicators, things like that. So thank you guys. Neil's already given you guys sort of the props for that UVXY. So thank you for that. And yeah, I know Greg, for example, watches VIX and stuff like that all the time. And that's a tool that we give to the traders behind us to make sure you just watch. It's just for increased volatility, obviously, as you guys know that. I don't need to talk about it. So, okay, there we go. So we're going to win on this one as we're not flushing ourselves down the toilet. We're flushing AMD down the toilet. I like that dark gray shirt. I'm going to have to find that again. But here we go. AMD now $1 in the money. We short those pops, and yeah, the rest really is history. I still am, we gotta, we have our bull here, so we still gotta try to be bullish a little bit. It's a damn good thing. If you look at Microsoft, and we'll go to Brendan in a second here. Just want to talk about this quickly. Look what Microsoft did. It actually tried to go through 312.80. I should have shorted that pop, but we were so thinking about the long there. We didn't get in. Remember, we don't get in right away. At that point, that's not where the 50 period was. It only went to 75. We were trying to take the 80 break. So we were 5 cents away, and this is what I mean about sometimes it's with you and sometimes it's not. I wouldn't have been holding this all the way down, but the point is we were thinking bullish there on Softy. It almost got us in, and then the market was hold my beer to the downside. So, very, very lucky to not have gotten in there. But it was a good level, man, because the size pushed this thing down off that 50 period. So, without any further ado, what's up, Brendo?
Yeah. CNNE, a few people circulating this note, has a stake in SST. So a heads up on CNNE, guys, just popped up on some volume there, moving with that SST.
CNNE.
CNNE. Yeah, there's so many names today. What was that one? You were on that, not DD.
There was another one, SST.
We talked about that SBFM. Was that what one of the ones was this morning? Yeah, that's at $5 today. So we're into 6 and change. This is going to be, well, I mean, Twitter is probably your volume leader now, 98 million shares, but this isn't far behind at 85 million right now. I didn't make any trades on this one. Watch out here. AMD is starting to come back up. It did make that big move to the downside right there and touching day's lows again on AMD, so probably should have put a bid in there, even though the NASDAQ is still near the bottoms. Check out crude oil right now, just dumped right now as well from 104 downside. Brendan brought the story about Canadian oil and our dollar starting to go back to the upside. I say down with the Canadian dollar because I trade U.S. stocks.
Well,
so
yeah.
obviously if we make
We're not cheering against our country's dollar. It's just...
Well, I am. But
it's not for the reason you think.
Not for economy. It's more for the fact that, like, and this is a thing. If you guys are trading in Canada or wherever you're trading, like if we make $1,000 or $100 on AMD, that's really worth 130 Canadian. But if our dollar goes higher, then that 130 becomes 125. I don't need to explain this to all of you guys much smarter than I. What's up, Brendo?
The other note on oil, guys, President Zelensky speaking right now in front of the UN Council as well. So that's happening. So a move in oil on that.
So I might have just made like a wick off bottom there on Tesla. We talked about that 11.15, 17 to 15 area. We grabbed like in 17.5. It does make the break. And now you're getting a bit of a reversal here. I mean, VIX is trying, volatility is trying to hold in that 1250 on UVXY, if that's what I happen to be watching. But you are getting a nice consolidation at the level that we liked. So I'll try one more time in Tesla here, but I'm going to take the stop out almost every chance. When you go counter trend, I just feel if you're not willing to take your stop, you're going to end up getting burned. But it looks like we are getting a bounce off of this level in Tesla. And there's like $10 of room to the upside, which is why I want to capture it. We mentioned some of these other names, SBFMs, like try to keep them, they're new. Like I haven't looked at the stock ever before. That's why we chew through these and sometimes we'll bungle the ticker name. But that SBFM, it did break 5 even while all this was going on, but only went about 15 pennies and then came right back above 5. So I don't want this to consolidate and start to run. I'd cancel the trail out. Now if it takes out about 530, I'm just going to get out of it. That's a nice little, I guess, wick off bottom at 5 even, which is a psychological level, and it has worked. I don't want this breaking back to the upside, and then all of a sudden you're giving it all the way back to VWAP. That doesn't make a ton of sense. So the trail's going back in on SBFM.
Yeah, what's up, Noah? Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, I understand the economy here and how that works and everything. And obviously we do want a higher dollar for some reasons and a lower dollar for others, right? I mean, like you mentioned, if you're exporting or importing, you'd have different sides of that. So, but anyways, I only cheer about it because I don't trade Canadian stocks. So I'd rather trade and make more money. If I was losing money, then I would want the Canadian dollar to go down because it might lessens the blow. Okay, so just to give you guys a recap here, as we only have 13 minutes to go, I don't know if we'll be into anything else, but I'm going to be shorting AMD again. If it gets to this 108.60 level, give it up to like 108.80, sort of where we were last time. That's going to be a good shorting opportunity for us to come in. And then Microsoft, I was kind of looking the other way on Softy here, trying to take some bids out. But again, I don't have any orders for this one. I just like it. It's down 1.46%. Before I go to Ms. V, just quickly, what is Facebook doing today? So Facebook is going to be the strongest of them all. So I feel like if I'm going to do anything long, it might be Facebook through 232.50, which is still 70 cents away. But we never want to make Ms. V wait for too long. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, really want to ask you for help. We need just 300 more likes to get 2,000. And if you forgot to like, please do so right now. And of course, thank you so much for everyone who supports the show and Trader TV Live community. Back to you, Sean and Neil.
I just realized, oh my goodness, I'm terrible. I didn't even like the page this morning. I'm usually pretty good. I do it like right when I sit down and log in. This time I didn't. So I don't even make it to one of those key numbers. But Lizzie in the chat is asking about Amazon a couple times. Remember Amazon, strong move. Like the end of the day yesterday, remember everything was running?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's breaking out at the top? Because everything was at the high of the day and the market was breaking highs. It was Amazon that was breaking the highs of the day. But not rug pulling. The market's coming down. Amazon's coming down. However, the support that it had put in and broke out from it, like the breakout was at 32.80, you're still above that level. So if you're looking for something which is at a key price, Amazon is it, and 32.50 has been a great level of support, but it's bounced off this a couple of times, right? Like the top end, the recent high, its last dip was into 32.50, and when it rejected that, it came back into 32.50. And so, like, if you're structuring a trade, like, you'd probably say like 32.8 to 32.5. There's a bit of a gap fill that for some reason my 15 doesn't want to go any further back. Neither does my daily chart. But there's a bit of a gap fill if you take out 32.50, about $100 down, that you have to be concerned with. So there is a level in there on Amazon. It just couldn't get there. But 32.50 is the support for AMZN. Brendan is already ready. Now, we've already talked a little bit about currencies there with Sean, but let's go to Money Talks with Brendan at the big screen.
And this week brought to you by the Small Exchange, guys. They're making it easier to get into futures trading. Check out smallexchange.com. Use a QR code at the bottom. There's less capital required. There's no pattern day trading as well. Use the QR code. The smallexchange.com. I mentioned this in the pre-market. Canadian dollar back to the downside, Sean. Nice move, in fact. 80.3 off 80.6. On that note from the White House again this morning, if you missed it, the White House saying they want to increase the imports of Canadian crude oil to the U.S. Still up, though, on the day. 0.4. You can see the dollar also strong. 0.2. British pound was actually red early on. We're back to positive territory. Big moves for, I wanted to mention Australia and New Zealand here, 0.5%, 1 full percent on some positive data for Australia today, 3% for the Russian ruble, back above 1 full cent. Cryptos all red on the day, but still holding up. I mean, 45,000 still for Bitcoin, guys. Back to you.
Crypto, huh? Yeah. Crypto has struggled at that 48. We talked about that earlier. I still like crypto. I think you got to buy it back down near to 40,000 Bitcoin. But until then, man, I'm going to leave it alone. My last buy was through 40,000. We talked about Cardano and Solana and how I like those two names. And that's that. So we'll wait to see. We have dry powder in crypto right now. So hopefully things can pull back a little bit in those spaces. But okay, just to let you guys know, because we only have 8 minutes left here, we still have the what day it is and a few other things. I saw chicken tortellini, I think, with some sausage for lunch, which is good. So hopefully that'll come through. I think so. Normally the sauce, you like the sausage.
Oh, the sausage.
Yeah, so that's in there today. So hopefully that'll be good. Just an update so I don't get into too many shares. 312.50 break on Microsoft. We're going to go long on that one. We are still waiting, and just to make sure, I got to cancel that offer right there. Okay, we are waiting. I mean, AMD's tanking right now, big time, which is nice. We just missed a reload, man. I mean, we missed it by like 10 cents right there, taking it in front of the 50 period, but we missed it, so nothing to do there, but it is making a move to the downside. Now, we're going to sit here again and take it if we can. 108.40 on AMD for the little reload in case the market doesn't want to go. I feel like we're going to get into softy very, very soon anyways. Breaking through 312.50. So maybe the AMD reload's not a great idea. I like this Microsoft starting to go back up to the upside. The futures are looking to take out this 50 period as well. So I don't know. If softy doesn't go, we have some cover back down here. But there we go. Did we get long? Yes, we did. So I'm going to cancel my AMD offer and just see what happens here with softy. Let's go.
So, I mean, I told you guys to stop on Tesla. We end up getting stopped out, and it's going to happen, man. You can have the level or area right, but if you bungle the entry point or the execution of it, it doesn't matter that you get the bounce that you're looking for. So I am out of Tesla. I just jumped back into DDL. I was throwing it in the chat that it's put another one of these wick highs. It just continues to fail this 650 area. So it goes over and over again. So I'm going to sit in the consolidation, and this is very similar to like SBFM in the regard that you put in a wick high after a big time move to the upside. You're consolidating lower, you're failing a couple of times. That's what those wicks mean. Like, it's trying to break out and then it immediately fails right back in as sellers come en masse. So I'm just looking to sit in this one to the short side. $6. Oddly enough, it's a coincidence. The DDL and SBFM 650, 675, and then $6 for targets. That's the exact same price range that SBFM was doing on the morning. But I am into this DDL. We still haven't been able to get locates of the other one That was at SST, which I do favor. Like that one's setting up really well, but we have no locates.
And boy, oh boy, wow for Microsoft, man. Did we ever hit that one out of the park right now? Look where we're trading. Holy shoot, man. Wow, Microsoft brings us back to life, like monstrous back to life. Their diamond hands I do not have, but look at Microsoft right here. Bang! What a move that was, guys. 70 cents there in the money off that. Like, this is what we're doing. I hope you're enjoying the show, guys. What a play for me on Softy right there. We take that break of 312.50 literally 2 minutes ago. Unfortunately, though, we got most of them out here at 312.80 for 50 cents. And then the explosion back up to the... Wow, Softy, man. You know what? Forget about all these other nonsense stocks. And I'm just kidding. We'll be trading them all. But wow, Microsoft, man, my biggest stock of the day, and what an upsized move. Holy, I am just like beside myself right now because it's dollar bills, y'all, coming through, and we're not talking about billions. We are talking about trading here live in front of you, guys. This ain't no show, although sometimes, well, it is. Not no scripted show, as we do not, make up these trades, man. These are live for you right there. Look at Softy just absolutely annihilated right there as we're almost back to our day's high off this Microsoft trade alone right there. Wow, big time movement back up to the upside. And yeah, that was a good one for me. Microsoft, we're only holding now, again, like I'm so stupid. Like right now I'm holding 20% of this trade again. We should be holding the whole damn thing, but wow, I told you, upsize trades, more scalping happening for me. And there it is, man, a great move back up to the upside. There goes Microsoft, 80 cents in the money, 80 cents in the money on AMD. And I'm honestly looking for CCL, but CCL has just been real crap show since we opened up, and it's good trade early, but then since then, man, falling right back in. I can't seem to find a level to get in. If we do take out 80, I guess that could be a good level, but we're well away from there. Wow, man, I couldn't be happier with that Softy trade. I hope some of you took that with me.
I saw Mike Jones just said there should be an Elon ETF. I don't know what that ETF would be. I mean, realistically, I get it. I know what's in it, but the ETF needs to have... It needs to have more. Like you just, yeah, exactly. You just buy the Qs. But that would be an interesting thing if he gets broadens the horizon. But a few things need to go public. Well, one thing needs to go public. I just want a way to be in Starlink. I think it's unbelievable technology, by the way. My sister-in-law has that, and it's great. I actually want to get it myself. I talked about SST and why I favor the short in it, but it's already back to $22. I don't even think if we got the locates here, it's already pulled back $14. Like I wouldn't pay for them if they came in. I was sort of saying that if we had them at 30, that's what I would have taken the trade. But this one's pretty much done and dead. Whereas you still have some movement going on in DDL. That's still giving you entry points. ATER, by the way, just to wrap it up here with only 3 minutes to go, it did bounce off the low. I'm going to put my trail at 375. If it's going to hold that bottom, it still sets up for a possible break. Target 330. Trail at 375, so I'll move the stop off. The stop at $4 probably no longer valid on that name. Twitter has fallen down, and the volume's still pretty good, but looks like it's going to be a pretty boring show. Like it just keeps barcoding off of 5140, which is good because that is the previous day's high, but you haven't been able to get past VWAP. So it's pretty much a scalp trade off of yesterday's top into VWAP at this point, but if it continues doing this with a downtrend, I'd watch out for that break of the low. Then it takes you back to 50 even, which I think is a defensible level.
All right, so I'm just going to do a little bit of work on the chat here. Thanks to Joshua Kim. Let's go Microsoft. You're right. I got lucky. I don't know what that means. Maybe in my marriage, I got lucky. Trading, it's not luck, my friend. You're welcome, Scott, for the trade on Microsoft there. Thank you, Dr. Strange, man. Thank you for all the love there, Dr. Strange, on that call for Microsoft as well. Great execution.
I know that.
Thank you, ASMRP, as well. Thank you to, Dr. Strangelove right there.
It's a great one.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, dollar bill. Yeah, you know where that's coming from as well. Thank you to that as well. Kesney, I talked about why I was getting in to Microsoft there. Thank you to Stephen Howard. Thank you to Deborah Thompson, who gets excited here when I do. So that's good, man. And someone said, I don't get it. Microsoft only went up 0.5%. So how Neil and I are trading, this is called proprietary trading. So we're trading firm capital. So it's not like, we basically have the ability, and I've said our account size before, I'm not going to say it again, but, we have the ability to throw in money into any of these opportunities. So, you know, sometimes if, let's just say you were to take even 500 shares on that Microsoft break, when it goes into the money there, even 80 cents, you know, that's $300 or $400 in about a minute and a half, right? So that's why sometimes the elevation occurs. But without any further ado, it's only a minute left. Let's see what special day it is for Miss V in the green dress.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for 2,000 likes, for all the super chats, and of course for daily support. Please join Prad and me right after. We will review our trades and we'll continue this exciting day, and happy National Caramel Day, everyone.
I can get behind that day all day. Yeah, you better believe it. And speaking of caramels, you know, Tony always, first of all, he's the nicest guy in the world. You guys already know this. But he still has, stacked up, lined up for everybody.
Yeah.
He's got the Werthers. He's got the little caramel candies.
The caramels are key.
Yeah, caramels are key, and it's just like, I mean, who does that? Like, he hears that we like it, and then all of a sudden, every single day is just there for us. Of course, you'll always see him on the closing bell with Miss V as long as he's going to be here. Time flies.
Yeah, he brought in caramels.
Yes.
Where's Tony? Tony! If you're around, let's bring a caramel over
right
here, if you can, buddy. If you have a second here, people want to see the caramel coming through here. So maybe if Tony does come through, I'm sure he can hear my voice.
Now I want one.
Okay. Here we go.
I know.
Dab it up,
like,
Tony. What's up, my man? How's it going?
What's going on, brother?
And the Werthers. There it is, right here. See, there it is. Thank
Oops,
you, Tony.
I just dropped the Werthers.
Once again, hook with the hookup. So
there it is.
Yeah, the Candy Man. Someone had. That's not.
Well,
it can have multiple meanings. We understand that.
Okay, as long as we acknowledge that, not that kind of candy man.
Yeah. But I'm about to down this, and no word of a lie. On my way home yesterday, I was like, I'll take one of those, and I took one of these caramels as well. But we can't be greedy with them. You know, we're obviously very, very thankful.
Sharing is caring,
for
right?
Tony to hook that up with. So, man, Microsoft's a big win for me today. AMD's been good, man. Thank you, ASMR and everybody. It's Neil and I's pleasure to be bringing this to you live every single day. So, without any further ado, Neil, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Yes, sir. Caramel Day. Let's get ours. Let's send you to Trader Prad and Miss V. Go get them.
Welcome to the Premarket Movers show. It is time for the beautiful Miss V and Trader Pride.
Thank you, Prad, and hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Whole trading day is ahead. More opportunities are coming. Please, as usual, be active on the chat. Ask us anything. Bring tickers you want to talk about, and of course, smash the like button.
Yeah, smash, as always. So let's start off the topics with obviously SBFM. We were looking at SBFM, 87 million shares traded today so far. Let's go check on what the relative volume is on SBFM. Hopefully all of you guys are having a great day so far, making that money. Markets obviously a lot of mood swings. Markets were looking a little scary, and then the scare picked